Hello, and this is the moment that the last 6 weeks I've been waiting for. Welcome to the owc World Cup 2016 grand final between the United States and China. I am Doomsday, and joining me today we have OMG4s and everyone. What's going on, guys?
Yes.
Hello guys, I'm doing fine, and you, Doomsday?
I'm doing amazing. I am so excited for this match, you don't even know.
I'm doing just as fine and very excited, having a little bit of nervous breakdown when the players should be more fitted for that. So yeah, hope you guys in the audience seat are just as excited as we are, and we want to present you the best of the matches, and we hope that the players are at their A game today for that as well.
I should hope so. They've had plenty of time to set themselves up.
Can we go live?
We are live. Hello. But yeah, they've had plenty of time to prepare. They've spent this last week working hard on this map pool, getting their lineups ready and getting their mental state all ready to go for the biggest match of the year. Seeing players come in now as we go. Of course, these two teams are no strangers to each other. They've faced themselves many times over the last few years. They've faced already in this tournament. Of course, the US knocked down China from the winners bracket in the semi-final stage.
Indeed, like you can almost say that China and USA has sort of like this love-hate relationship in between them. They're like this fated pair, always gunning for each other. And this year we've seen them taking a match already. USA, like you said, 6-4 against China, but that was, I think, a very debatable match personally, because both teams were playing at very uncomfortable times. And this time we're gonna see that USA playing at around 8 p.m. and China playing around noon, so more or less balanced. And this can of course affect the players' performance a lot. So if you were expecting the players to be themselves like they were 2 weekends ago, you're gonna be up for a little surprise. And we do see right now that in the room China's already gathering, whereas in the USA side, we're still waiting on a couple more members.
Yeah, they're slowly forming.
And I would also like to add, you definitely do have a point of the players just being completely different. In this case, we do also have some setup changes. For example, Toy, who's actually one of the biggest score contributors for the United States, does have a different setup and might not perform at his usual best. So people might need to look into. Both teams need to look into that and decide on what picks they're gonna go for. It'll change it a little bit up if China really wants to look and factor that into the decision making. But both these teams have learned a lot. Like the Chinese side, they did learn a lot about their roster, in what they should pick for which maps. They did learn it because they did have 3 opportunities to do so, leading up to this point, coming from the losers bracket. And the United States only really had 1 shot at it, looked a little bit shaky. I'm sure they could perform a lot better than what they showed against South Korea. And hopefully they've got everything sorted out, practiced all the maps, and hopefully are gonna give you the best they've got.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you're mentioning that US may have had more in the tank against South Korea, and it says a lot when they can beat a team like South Korea and still have more to show. They'll certainly have to do it, because what we saw of China last week in the 3 matches they had to play was nothing short of outstanding. China had such a brilliant run of games against some really tough opponents. Of course, last week, because China had to go through losers bracket, they had a grueling route to get to here last week. They had to defeat Germany, the UK, and South Korea all on that last weekend. And safe to say, they looked very good value for that. They came out 6-2 winners in that losers bracket grand final against South Korea, and just looked really amazing. If they could bring that level into this, you never know. You just don't. Players
Right.
like Tottery was so scary on that time.
Yeah, and for those who do not know, I do hope that this is only a meme now. Totally is Rustbell, the Chinese player who's changed his name a couple weeks ago. And as you said, Doomsday, Team China is coming into this match with a lot of experience in real matches on their backs. And you can definitely expect them to know their stuff, whereas Team USA has only one match. However, if you've been following their statuses over the week, you know that Team USA has been practicing a lot among themselves, and that I think we can expect them to show up at a fairly decent level, even though China does look like a team with more experience. And of course, I will have to remind everyone that in tournaments, anything can happen, and expect the unexpected. So players will definitely have to take everything into account, even those that they do not think would be possible, because when things come up, they do come up, and you have to make adjustments on the spot, or else you will just flank and fail.
All right then. Looks like before we get this match underway, we have a little bit of a surprise to show you. At the moment, we have Pepe here, who's actually going to be showing off the prizes for this tournament. I'll hand over to him.
Oh boy.
Oh yeah, hey guys. Thanks for tuning in. We were kind of planning this time around to do some more special prizes than previously, which was going to involve like some very high-end merchandise. Unfortunately, we didn't really have the time, and Flight has been a bit busy, so we haven't got the designs complete for that. So that may have to wait until next year. But in place of that, we're just going to go with a similar prize to what we had last year, plus one item of merchandise which is unique to this tournament, which is going to be a tumbler. So I think we have an image which we may be able to bring up on the screen, just showing what the general prizes are.
I'm looking them up.
Yeah. I guess I have Streamlike. So we're going again with cash prizes to the value of $2,000 for the winning team, $1,000 for second place, and $500 for third place. That's split between all the players, obviously. Then we've got the same badge set that we had from last year, which is pretty highly sought out badges. We're not ever going to sell those, so those are tournament exclusive. And yeah, we've got a new tumbler, which the design you see there is a mock-up. We're getting them produced in January, so that they should go out to the winners. Yeah, late in January. I guess that's about it. That's all I have to say. Good luck to both the teams, and hope we see an amazing match.
It's looking good. It's amazing that for a community like ours, we can have something like this, and like I say, it's a massive reward to these teams that put in so much effort over the course of 6 weeks to get to this point. How much effort they put into preparation for these matches. It's pretty amazing. We can give something back to them as well. But
yeah, definitely.
The main thing at the end of the day.
People may complain that our cash prizes are a bit low compared to some of the other, esports tournaments out there. But keep in mind that we're sponsoring that without any sponsors. That just comes from all the support that you guys give to the game. So yeah, we do our best to give back in these tournaments.
So, and owc is pretty much a game, and in terms of tournaments, that you just play because you enjoy the game and just want to play it. And this is a little bit of a nice pocket money for the players at the side. What these guys aren't really doing for a living, they just like the game and are playing it for the sake of it. That's what all these guys are here for, and they're trying to defend their honor this time around, because it is the rematch again. So not just casually line this time around.
Yeah, a lot of things are on the line, and the players are certainly up for defending and, of course, taking something that they would very much like. And considering, especially for China, that they were so close to winning that champion last year, where USA basically came on top as a very excited, very hyped tiebreaker. And this year, after a year in waiting, they finally get the second chance to avenge themselves. And I think it'll be amazing.
One thing about this as well, we mentioned this last week, we'll mention it again. The last few tournaments have actually had losers bracket champions, despite the loser bracket forfeit, which for those who don't know is the team that comes through from the losers bracket in this double elimination tournament have to win 2 matches. So they have to win 2 best of 13s to take the title. And the last few years, that has been the case, surprisingly enough. Last year it was the US that went through the losers bracket to take the title, but now the roles are reversed with the same teams. It's beginning to look like the El Clasico, this. Normally in the past we talked about the El Clasico being Taiwan versus South Korea, but it's quickly switching to these two, because these two are fast becoming the kings of this roost. Second final in a row.
They're the canon pairing of owc.
Oh,
Yeah, we did see some new teams stepping up and showing up, just completely dominating some of the other teams, which you wouldn't expect. Like the UK, for example, is one of those teams. Hello, the Doomsday, who's actually a player in the UK. The UK lineup getting a bunch of more fresh blood and old blood, and combining that is going to give them the four-man lineup they were looking for pretty much every mod specific map in the map pool. And next to that, we do see some other teams like Brazil, for example, which just had an absolutely phenomenal run in the tournament and actually got United States to a tiebreaker and things like that. So we do see some fresh blood coming in. So maybe next year around, we might see other people at the top instead of United States and China again.
that's for them though.
Oh yeah, that's for them. But without further ado, we do see the first war coming in, which is going to be Chipscape Ragnarok, a classic map which is pretty decently fast in terms of speed, not too long in terms of streams, but has some bursts, so you need the speed to play this properly. And we do see 3 hard rocks coming in for maybe warming up some harder plays.
Well, this pick tells me they're warming up for streams, of course. I mean, it's an incredibly intensive stamina challenge, this one.
Yep, and of course this is a USA pick. However, we do see that China has Spring Lane, GGBY, and RXC picking the Hard Rock, maybe paying tribute to the player Wobei Matsuo, who was on the Chinese team in 2014, who was very known for having the first Hard Rock, I think the first Hard Rock FC on this map.
Oh yeah, I remember that. That was such a big deal when that happened. Hey, maybe.
Yeah. We feel so old now. Okay, seems like everyone's finally getting going. Well, at least on my screen. Or not really?
Well, until things are going, we can talk a little bit about the map. On Hard Rock, this is actually extremely difficult because Hard Rock in general, as you know, does make the circles a little bit smaller and makes the hit window a little bit tighter. So things are going to be just in general a lot harder to do. And also it increases the approach rate, which means the rate at which circles appear and have to be clicked is going to be reduced. Which is actually in this case going to help you out in terms of reading, because there are less objects on the screen at the same time. And because this is also ScorV2, which does take slider accuracy in consideration, this map having a bunch of repeat sliders which are really tight next to each other might give them a bit of a trouble.
Those burst sliders are going to cause extra problems with the ScorV2 scoring system we use for this, where sliders are much more strict in terms of timing. In the sense you have to hit the starts on rhythm rather than simply having to follow the slider to its duration regardless of rhythm. You lose accuracy if you don't hit it on time, and those repeat sliders are pretty nasty when you have to do that.
Indeed. Doomslay, what else? What other differences from ScorV2 to ScorV1 can you tell us about?
Of course, the scores are all capped at 1 million regardless of length. So essentially, you can think of the score as a performance meter. The closer you are to 1 million, the better your run was. And also, if you lose accuracy, you actually have score deducted as well. So completely destroying accuracy on streams actually really hurts. So accuracy is much more heavily weighted, 30%, with 70% going towards combo also.
And what about mods like Hard Rock and Hidden?
Ah yeah, Hidden has the same multiplier than in standard ScorV1, 1.06 times regular score. Hard Rock has a higher one, 1.12 I believe. Double Time has a bit higher than that as well. I don't recall the number though. But Hard Rock has a much higher multiplier, which is a big deal in free mod picks where players can freely pick either Hidden or Hard Rock. 2 players from each team have to pick one. when a free mod map is picked. And picking Hard Rock gives you a pretty hefty score advantage if you could deal with it.
Alright, yeah, and Hidden Hard Rock are the only two mods which are gonna be relevant for the tournament next to Double Time, obviously. But those are the two main mods. There are no flashlights, no easy mods really coming into this play for this year, maybe next year, but for now it'll be what we're gonna do. But for the Chinese side, we do see Alexi and Springer in the Hard Rock. You can already see the differences between all those players. And they are gonna be the main Hard Rock guys for the Chinese team. So in case something needs to be played on Hard Rock, they're gonna be in there. But yeah, just looking at the accuracies, the Hard Rock guys just lacking accuracy completely around because it's just absolutely destructive, this one on Scully 2.
It is, it's really, really difficult with Hard Rock.
And if you're paying attention during when the players entered streams, you actually find that the score were shrinking in some cases because the players were just dropping accuracy so severely that the scores were taken into a penalty status because of their accuracy. Springling and RX especially, you see them both in the 80s.
Indeed, but something to highlight for a second is Totori currently, Rustbelt, is holding an extremely good combo for this. It's just rising and is completely carrying the Chinese team for the first warm-up map. Which, you know, obviously winning a warm-up isn't gonna be too big of a deal because it's no point for the real tournament match, but it sets the tone, it sets the pace for the entire match, pretty much. And Rustbelt is the carry for the team, or was the carry for the team the past few rounds, and it seems like he's up to the task once again.
Yeah, well, I mean, you said, you know, winning in the warm-up doesn't mean much in terms of, you know, getting points on the board, but the mental, you know, you're going to feel confident when you win a warm-up. And, I mean, I'd be feeling confident if I was Totori right now. Dude had a one miss right at the start, but 2,000 combo on a map like Chipscape, an incredibly difficult map. It's just crazy. That's what a brilliant run by him on the first map.
Yeah, and another thing to note is that this map on just 2100s means that he definitely shows some sort of being comfortable on it. So in that case, 220 BPM streams are present in the pool, for example in the map Gimme Chocolate, which might have a full combo potential for Rustbelt now that I think about it. Just showing his progress on the streams can give him a big advantage on the maps in the map pool. And you know, that's just confidence in this guy, which also boosts his performance.
Perhaps, yeah. I think with Gimme Chocolate, the streams in that are very spaced out. But I mean, in terms of like stamina-wise, Totori's looking pretty comfortable on that. But I wonder if that'll come into play on maps like, say, Mad Machine or Mephisto, even though they are they're much more faster, which is, well, 220 is, playing 220 and 255 are completely different beasts, but I mean, Totori looks incredibly comfortable on those, and that is a very intensive stamina map, so. Is this the next warm-up, though? Because the first one was the US pick, I believe.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the second warm, which is going to be Traction, the Near Distant Future on Double Time, which is a drum and bass song on Double Time. So standard drum and bass songs, you can expect them to be around 170 to 180 BPM. That's kind of the standard drum and bass song BPM range. On Double Time it will be multiplied by 1.5, so it's gonna be somewhat around 250, I guess. So actually pretty close to Mephisto in this case, like 260 even, a little bit higher, like colorful. So it's gonna be in line with the Double Times in the map pool. But this one is actually pretty long and has some really disgusting parts. It has a wobble slider part, I think, or like really long sliders which are hard to echo score too.
So I saw this map pop up and it made me wonder if that last one was the US pick, because I do remember Happy Stick, who is one of the US players in right now, actually, he's been trying this for quite a while over the last couple of years, I'd say. with double time. I see it's a map he plays quite a lot. I was thinking, but no, this is the Chinese pick.
Yeah, perhaps. But this one isn't gonna be. The most of the double time players won't be too unfamiliar with this one, because as you said, Happy Stick, for example, played a lot, and he's a double time player, or used to be a double time centric player. He still gets his rank through double time, but also has stepped up in a lot of other mods. But this one was one of the classic let's pass it and see how far I can get, and then it just turned into a let's try the full combo, which still is pretty nuts. So I don't think I'd expect any full combos from this one.
If someone full combos this, it'll be beyond impressive. We'll be getting this one underway in just a moment, just getting a couple of things sorted.
Indeed. And in the meantime, Doomsday, what do you think? The matches so far have been pretty close, 6-4 most of the time, and 6-2. Why do you think is that the matches are so close? Is it the players just being extremely close in skill, or is it the map pool?
I think it's just going to come down to that map pool, and it's incredibly high-end, incredibly difficult. I mean, every single map is so diverse. I mean, you can't just pick a map on there and say, yeah, I can FC that. Not going to happen. You see lots of back and forth picks, lots of break picks, lots of people picking a map and then losing on it just because this map pool is incredibly unforgiving in that sense. So I'm not surprised to see, score lines fluctuate that heavily. So many 6-4s.
And also that one more thing to notice that I'm going to introduce quickly the concept of a defensive versus an offensive pick. So defensive pick meaning that you're trying to come back from a situation where you're behind, like when your opponent has 1 point ahead of you and you're trying to make this point in that you can make up to a 1-1 situation. And whereas offensive pick is you're trying to make the lead in become in favor of you. So you're going from 1-1 to 2-1. That will be offensive. And in this case, each team should have an equal number of offense and defensive pick, considering that these two teams, one will pick first and the other will have to follow up, and they basically have to split in between how many offense and defensive pick each team will have. So if you get more offensive pick, it definitely means you're in a better situation, and by stealing every one more offensive point you can get, you basically means that you can get 1 more point ahead of the opponent, and that's how the scores become widened in gap. So you see 6-2, 6-4 more often when teams that with a higher skill level comes up. That's basically is how you look at the OS tournaments. You look at in comparison between the two teams.
Thing is though, like on a map pool like this, it's hard to like play that way, because you really on a map pool like this, it just comes down when you pick a map. It's it's either you're gonna pick a map and hope you do okay on it. You pick something like Dopamine and hope you can pull it off, or you pick something very specialized like maps like Mephisto, the incredibly streamy, fast double time pick. I mean, China have players like owc2016 who are players extremely well known for being incredibly fast streamers, and Spring Lane comes into that as well. And that's the kind of map where you can say, right, we're going to pick that, and we're going to give owc2016 the opportunity to go ham, because a single player with a really high combo can really carry a team on a map like this.
Indeed, and but you gotta give it to the United States. They're pretty much following what everyone has been talking about in terms of you're gonna, what you pick is gonna be aggressive pick. You are gonna have to expect what. Obviously, if you pick something, you should expect to be pretty comfortable on it and expect to be better on it, or at least for the first few picks. But the US is actually going in with that mindset of only trying to win their own picks and accepting the loss of the other side in terms of picking. So the United States is going to follow that, and that's why the United States has gotten into quite a few tiebreaker situations. But this time around, I did see them being a little bit more aggressive, because they do have their comfort zones, but then again, they need to get out of the comfort zones to actually win this thing. And they did prepare quite a bit for some of the very specific gimmick picks. So look forward to that.
Indeed. Yeah. And I would have to say that this is one map pool where simply by staying within your comfort zone, you will not win. That's basically, I'm going to point it out just like that. There's no way you can sit back and expect your opponent to hand this to you when you're either China or USA.
Well, I'm not sure there's many comfort picks in this pool. I mean,
Yeah.
not really at all. So we're finally getting underway on this next warm-up pick. It's kind of strange to see a double-time warm-up. I don't recall ever, like in any of the games I casted, seeing a double-time warm-up pick. But
Yeah, me neither. But I don't know. This might just be picked by China because the Chinese side is gonna be favored to win the double-time picks quite a bit. So much that I actually believe that the United States is going to ban a double time map. That's what I'm gonna expect quite a bit. It's gonna be Mephisto probably being banned 90% of the time because that one is just extremely fast and favors a specific skill which the Chinese side is extremely good at. And I don't think the United States does have a 4-man lineup for that map, which is as good as China is. So the Chinese side wanna warm up for the jumpy part of double time because they think they at least got Colorful, the other double time map, to play on and perhaps get a point out of.
Yeah, I think looking at this, Colorful might also be a good ban out because average score-wise, Colorful has about 160,000 points on Mephisto for China.
Oh yeah, and that beat our statistician, which is gonna do all the things with numbers and number crunching. So you might hear him from time to time chiming in.
Hello.
That beat.
Yeah, so China's average accuracy score on Colorful is 680,000. Mephisto's is 526,000.
China was incredibly impressive in the matches last week on those double time picks. I'm pretty sure, well, compared to everyone else, when I was casting, say, the South Korea and Taiwan, things like that, China on those GC picks looked almost unstoppable. If they don't ban double time, I will be beyond surprised because China, if US have been watching China's matches, which surely they have, it'd be obvious. It's clear as day because they're just so good on those double time picks.
Yeah, I mean, look at this downtime, it's absolutely insane. Look at those sliders coming in. And you've got to hit the slider heads perfectly in terms of the rhythm and follow the slider. And it's just so snappy and so difficult to follow that you see pretty much everyone breaking all around. This is the famous part where most people lose their combo hands for a good reason.
The scores in this warm-up are actually pretty close.
Yeah, actually China has been staying around 460,000 for a while now. You guys were missing that, and that gives Team USA a chance to come back.
But yeah, we do actually see Happystick, his expertise coming into this map because his accuracy, 94%, is currently through the roof, or if you look at it as a whole, because he has the highest accuracy, and Slower is gonna get the highest score coming in too, because he's racking a pretty decent combo for this map. But you can definitely see that this one is a double time on a completely different level. It's even harder than the maps in the map pool. So we're not gonna expect 78% accuracy scores, obviously, in the map pool, but they're gonna be a little bit close to a B sometimes. So something around 88%, 85% can be possible.
Obviously, I'd say this pick's quite a bit more difficult than the actual picks in the double time pool, which is saying a lot because they are really not easy maps. But this map on Squad 2 is incredibly unforgiving. But I mean, even then, ArtXC is holding almost an A level accuracy on that, which is crazy good for him just to pull out like that. But so is Happystick as well with 95, holding a nice combo too. I mean, you can tell he's played this map quite a lot.
Yeah, and it's also a very long map, so I'm guessing China's strategy maybe is to tire the American players out before the first pick, so that they get an early lead advantage, which is a very fine thing to do for strategic warm-up picks. But Happystick, they probably were not expecting him to do so well, and I don't think they know that he was playing this for like 2 years.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if that's going to be wearing them out. I mean, these players ain't going to have no problems with stuff like this. It's less wearing them out and more like just getting them ready. And safe to say, that is an intense map to get them ready. Nice A there from Happystick.
6 misses. That's absolutely phenomenal, actually. You know, obviously, he's gonna have some 50s and 100s racking in. That ladder part is unforgiving, and it's gonna you're gonna be able to pile up those 100s on that one, unfortunately. But just 6 misses on this kind of long map is just absolutely great performance by Happy Stick. So Happy Stick was actually one of the players who was underperforming a little bit last week, not last week, but rather 2 weeks ago when he played in the winners bracket against South Korea. But this time around, he did practice quite a bit in the meantime, and you know, this performance definitely shows that he's up for the task today.
That map, of course, was the final warm-up. Now it's time to get into the actual match. Getting into the picks and bans phase at the moment. Both teams will roll a number out of 100 to see who is going to be banning a map first. Each team gets one ban, so they can get rid of one map from the map pool. The loser of the roll will ban first, but the winner of the roll will pick the first map.
Indeed, and this is pretty much the time where we'll see if Toy is actually played by Kokizi, or if it's actually Toy, depending on how high he rolls.
Yep, and there's RXE rolling for China with an 80. So now Toy has to combat that. And he... No, he's not able to break the curse for Team USA, which if you do not know is that Team USA captains has not won a single roll since 2015. I'm not sure about 2014, maybe there was someone has to check for me, but I don't think anyone has rolled any captain has rolled a win since 2015.
It's the jinx, man.
And we do see Mephisto being banned, which was to be expected for the United States. Mephisto is pretty streamy. On Chinese side, I would expect Crescent Moon, one of the hard rocks, pretty much because the United States have looked really good on those hard rocks, especially the Crescent Moon one, where they got quite a bunch of score, and there's just so much carry potential in general on the United States side. They have 4 SC potentials pretty much, and it's gonna be Crescent Moon. Alright, seems like we did our homework and we predicted successfully. That was pretty much to be expected. The United States only had 1 match to be played, and the Chinese side did have to pull info from just 1 match, while the United States had to pull in info from 3 matches.
And yes, China certainly did their homework as with USA. I don't think USA wants to even go near Mephisto or any map like that. Happy Stick, of course, showing that he's a little bit under the negative side for his previous map being banned. He is a very good hard rock player, and the first map is going to be picked by China. They're going for Colorful, the other double time pick.
Yep, this all makes sense. China going straight for the jugular. They're going straight for that remaining double time pick that they've done so well on in the past.
Indeed, double time is just was extremely dominating on that side for the Chinese side, and Colorful was one of the maps where just the speed demons and the readers are coming out, like Totori, the or formerly known as Raspel, is not necessarily the highest tier of DT players, like for example H3 or Rapid is, but he still is a pretty formidable one. Like his streaming is not that bad, and his reading is absolutely top notch. This kind of map does require a little bit more reading than just raw aim compared to some other maps which get ranked nowadays. So his reading ability is going to come in a little bit, but for the overlaps, it's a little bit tricky from time to time. But obviously, this being downtime, speed is going to be of essence. And this is around 260 BPM, has a bunch of single taps and jumps, a few bursts here and there, so not too fast in terms of streaming, but like Mephisto is, and that's something the United States did look into the plan, while this one has a more aim-centric play. So players to look out for are going to be Totori, which is Raspel, Tokichi, another really good aim double time player, and Springer and Alexi are going to perform pretty decently. On the United States, I'm going to expect Happy Stick to perform pretty decently. Xarius, really good double time aim player. Itsuki did show pretty good performances all around the last week, the last time he played. And Fire Rage is going to be one of those backbone members who's going to be there to just perform because he's there and there's no one else to play.
And here we go with the first match of the grand final. Here we go. Both teams have massive potential on this, but China have done exceptionally in the past. We'll see if the US can match them this time.
Indeed, and also the opening up with double time shows that they certainly want to get a win on this match. They're not here just for the sightseeing. They have done their homework and they've traveled a lot through the losers bracket. And everything else is just practice now. We do see a couple of misses coming in for China.
Well, yeah, there's so much of a difference. I don't think there's really any way to come back for the United States team. Plus, the ending isn't too difficult, so you can't really fail on there. So there's no score deduction there.
And there we go. First point will go to China with a double slider break for both teams. Happy Stick and Totoki getting a slider break run each. But the combos are in favor of China, and they'll be taking home this one.
It wasn't exactly their best performance they showed on this map, but it was good enough to beat the United States, and that's all that really matters in this case. But don't fret, the US isn't gonna feel too much of a motivation or just a confidence hit in general, because the United States is going into this match with the kind of mindset of losing the enemy's picks, and this was a really good pick by the Chinese side.
And actually, the first Chinese line of this match will come from Xarius on the United States team. He just typed, "Why are the maps this hard?" And RXE and Totoki, of course, echoing him in his thought, also repeating this line.
Right translation. But the United States is going to respond with a hard pick, which is to be expected. Hard is going to be the turf for the United States team because they just look a lot cleaner on hard in general. Uncontested mods are going to be no mod in general, is going to be looking into perhaps United States favor, but this is pretty much a coin toss for no one. Hidden is also a bit of a coin toss, while one of them might look good for United States, the other one looks good for China. But free mod in general looks really promising for the Chinese side. So United States, in theory, and according to the stats, does have a disadvantage. So they need to step up and win their own picks and then try to be aggressive on the no mods and perhaps a few free mods.
GGB were asking, do you guys got this? I think it's just confirming the roster for China won last time.
Alright, and Doomsday, do you want to tell us anything about this map, Tsukitoro?
This one is, I'd consider this in relative to the rest of the pool, one of the more consistency-based picks. It's quite a long one. It's around over 4 minutes. Pretty standard hard rock setting, circle size 4.2, I believe, overall difficulty of 10. Because it's a hard rock pick, it has a very tight accuracy window. People have to hit the notes very accurately. Overall, though, in terms of patterns, this one's very all-rounded. A lot of space triple, plenty of jumps, but all-around patterns are quite simple, just keeping consistent on the hard rock style. And yeah, like you said, this one is a good pick for United States. I feel like China have been okay, but not exceptional on this in the past.
Indeed, and you're right on that note, because the United States just had more combos in general, while the Chinese side pretty much had 2 decently high combos and the rest was lacking just a little bit, which is surprising. But this is gonna be, as I said, simple patterns. Might not be too difficult to see in terms of a combo, in terms of this being too difficult or too gimmicky. Like, it's pretty much as raw as you can really get in terms of aim difficulty and a bit of streaming here and there. But the interesting thing is that you said it's 4 minutes long, and keeping a combo for 4 minutes in a tournament setting is really hard. We don't see any early misses yet, but that is to be expected, because most players should be able to keep a combo for at least a 500 to 600 combo. But then we might see some misses, because the jumps are gonna come into the Ki time, which is where the song gets the most intense.
Yeah, it's very localized, the difficult sections on this, so that will be where this match is won or lost, I believe. No silly misses at the start. Can be done if you haven't quite got your mental state sorted, but all these players are perfectly set up and ready for this. No silly misses here. Accuracy in favor of the US.
Oh yeah, accuracy is definitely in favor for US, and that shows how comfortable you are really on the map. But the jumps leading into the key item are coming in.
That's rough. Fiery Rage and Idki breaking on that jump pattern, but no breaks like that for China, and all of a sudden, early on, China have that advantage.
Yeah, and fun fact, this map was not played by the US when they played against South Korea, so we can't really see any performances or predict any performances, except that they should do on those jumps well. They should do pretty decently on it. And the Chinese side did have around 500,000 points in average on this one the last time they played it.
You see the weighting of the accuracy in Score V2, despite the combo advantage. You know, the length of time it's been there, the US are still ahead, even though China will overtake if they hold the combos.
Indeed, and the longer this goes and the more combos drop, the more accuracy is going to be prevalent and important in this one.
Getting another tricky jump section though in just a moment. And we see Spring Lane dropping the combo there. Oh, but there goes Happy Stick just afterwards. That's unfortunate. It's going to be 2 FCs to 1, still in favour of China, but US still in the lead on that accuracy.
Yeah, just barely, but look at Toy. I mean, despite him being on a completely different setup, he's holding the highest combo and the highest accuracy to boot. I mean, we do know that he's a pretty good hardware player, but just that performance is absolutely phenomenal considering his situation.
And then you jinxed him.
Well, I'm gonna blame that on the setup, alright? I mean, maybe he was just running out of luck.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very hard map to remain consistent on. Like you said, it's been so long and actually so tricky. Jonathan LFJ, the mapper, is known to be a very good mapper who utilizes all sorts of patterns in his maps. And so far in solo, the players are feeding the challenge, feeding the bird.
Well, there goes RTXC. The last FC is gone, and the US still have the lead. The combo advantage is in the US favour now. Fiery Rage bringing it back excellently after his early break, along with Idki. Those two are holding the torch for the US right now, and they're going to be taking this one home, but it's so close. They need to hold on to the end.
Yeah, Itki was a player who had, I think, the second highest score participation in his team the last time they played, and Fire Rage is one of those players who's in there to perform pretty decently on it, but they didn't really expect him to perform this well. But just look at the average across, like all of them are above 500,000 points.
Despite that pressure, those two held on through that really difficult jump section at the end. And yeah, looks like they're going to bring it home for the team. It's going to be 1-1. Game on.
Yeah, very strong start for both teams, I'd say. China right behind United States, but the accuracy game just not there. USA, of course, being great with their accuracy, and I'd say that's their one major strength over China, is going to take this the first pick of their own.
We were saying that this one was pretty heavily favored in the US's favor, but it looked like things were going to tilt there. But at the end of the day, US did bring it home. It's going to be 1-1. Great combos all around. We're seeing 1,000 combo on almost every single player, which is mighty impressive across the board.
Yeah, and I would say this definitely surprised USA because I don't think they were expecting that China to, of course, be this close to them in terms of combo. Of course, they did win on accuracy, which is very, very good. But China being so close to them, they're going to feel the chase behind.
Oh, alright, and the next pick is gonna come in from China. Instead of threading the needle with free mod, which they look pretty good on compared to pretty much every other team in the entire tournament, they are going for no mod, which is to be understandable because if you wanna win this match, you need to win the most points, obviously. You need to win a best of 13. So to win, you do need 7 points. And if you look at the map pool, removing the banned out maps, you need to play every single map except for one. So in that case, it might make more sense to go for the risky picks at the beginning than at the end, where it really matters and might screw you over. So you can perhaps go with some more comfortable picks at the end. And in this case, they're going for black for Gimme Chocolate, which is, I believe, one of those really close picks for both teams. We did see United States playing this, and they performed, I wouldn't really say up to tier level on this one. Emla and Happy Stick just got around 300,000 points, which wasn't too high. While the Chinese side did practice it quite a bit. I see, for example, Totori, Rustbell, did get a single player FC on this one. So, things considered, this should be a coin flip.
Yeah, both teams have ability on this sort of thing. I think on this one, for the most part, it's quite a standard mechanical test. Again, a bit like Tsukitaro, fairly simple patterns, mainly wide jumps with a pretty nasty spaced stream section in the middle around the solo area at 220 BPM. I think the players, as long as they keep their cool, will be able to combo the jumps for the most part. I think most players will be able to hold combo well there, but that stream is where the coin flip element of this is going to come in, because that can go either way. A very minor misaim there can cause you to fail out.
And
of course.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You also have that accuracy portion coming in for the stream too, because once the players under stream or over stream for 220 BPM, that's when their accuracy can really tank, and even missing a huge chunk of the stream, failing completely. That, like we've seen that happen in the match against South Korea. In the match, basically every time it's come up, someone breaks in that section and breaks majorly. So that's definitely one where the players have to watch out for.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree on that respect. This map, as you mentioned, Doomsday, is pretty decent in terms of patterns. It's just jumps and should be pretty much free FC all around, or just missing all around. It depends on how comfortable you're on this map. If you're good on these jumps, you're gonna get a combo consistently. If you're bad at jumps, you're gonna get a low combo. But this map is in the same situation as the last one, except it's a little bit faster, and the stream being the important part. It's also difficult for combo for the exact same reason. As in, you shouldn't have too much troubles in general with any single parts of this, maybe perhaps the stream, but just the sheer difficulty in consistently throwing difficult jumps at you is gonna make this hard. And this is also like 3 minutes long, so another really long map, making this extremely hard to see.
Yeah. Also, I do have to bring attention to what he did in the beginning. He used a smoke to have a little art time of his own with the background. I think it's very cute and also shows the players are having fun with the tournament.
Oh yeah, that's what it's all about at the end of the day.
Indeed, indeed.
Seeing a couple of early breaks from GGBY and Mlaw who were swapped in for this one. The speedy stream player coming in to deal with that stream.
Indeed. And players to look out for are gonna be Itsuki, who's extremely good on these kind of maps. Happy Stick, who's also pretty good on them, but he's lacking a little bit of accuracy currently. As long as he's got combo, that's good enough. On the Chinese side, Totori, Spring Lane are gonna be interesting. Also Ardexy.
It is flickering. US does have a 2 full combo against China's 1, so they're going to take the lead in this China's pick.
Yeah, there are some early misses in there, and they're gonna keep on missing. Maybe it's the nerfs coming in. But in terms of scores, we did see average China being 425,000, and US gonna be 385,000. So there's a bit of a difference, but that was when US was underperforming quite a bit in terms of, for example, Happy Stick. Well, he's looking pretty okay for now, but I think I just jinxed him.
Yeah, Happy Stick does break, but however, Itsuki with a higher accuracy and also a full combo still remaining is going to help carry the US team forward. And I think it's going to make it all the way to the streamier section.
Yeah, the combos are in advantage of US right now, but there isn't much before that stream section, and that one it can split teams. It keep going for that 500 PP. I don't know about that, mate. You're scoring me too. The FC here, it's a bit of a shame in terms of your performance, but it's going to carry your team pretty hard if you can FC this stream.
Your team will appreciate it. It's going to be more, speak more heavily than that 500 PP.
Here we go.
Oh, and here comes the streams.
Oh, there goes Idkey. Drops the FC, actually fails out, but he can revive. Xarius and Mlaw doing the work, though Mlaw failing out at the end. But Xarius
is
has
absolutely
his back.
carrying now. Oh my god.
That was ridiculous from Xarius, nailing that like it's no problem at all.
Yeah,
And he's going to be running away.
Xarius is actually one of these players who did carry quite a bit last year around in the last Grand Finals, but this time around he didn't look too hot because he hasn't been playing too much recently. But it seems like he maybe prepared a little bit and practiced in the downtime of 2 weeks.
Well, last time he played this against Korea, he got 401,000 points. I think it's safe to say he's done better this time.
Yeah, definitely in this case. I mean, just all around, pretty good.
Looking like a really big win on this break point for the US, taking China's pick, taking it with a plum. Looking like an excellent run from Xarius. Not quite a full combo. I believe he broke at the start and he breaks there. But nevertheless, very well done from the US team. 2-1.
Indeed, this breakpoint comes in a lot earlier than I had expected, but definitely kudos to US for pulling that off. And now it's China's turn to answer. They have lost their first pick privilege, and they have to return favor to US if they want to win, because this is every single point counts, even though it be best of 13, and China will have to, of course, make something happen.
Indeed, and that was one of the coin toss picks. So even though this was suddenly a win for the United States, it wasn't to be expected to be a win for the Chinese side. I mean, obviously, I think that the Chinese side is able to perform a little bit better than that, and they didn't really plan for that. But that's just the nature of owc itself. Doesn't matter how much you plan and strategize, the best preparation is going to be the few years before you actually play the map itself or the tournament itself. Doesn't matter how much you really do in a short time span. Plus, one thing which is to note is it's just complete luck sometimes. Sometimes you can lose concentration for 1 second and it's gonna kill your full combo and drop your score down quite a lot.
Well, we were saying that map was a bit of a coin flip because of that stream section. I mean, one day you can full combo out and the other time you can just fail out of it entirely, and today the US won that coin flip. It happens. nothing to take away from Xarius' performance, but I mean, both teams could have easily taken that if it wasn't for, you know, the smallest little bit of inconsistency on that section can mess you up. Creator is the next pick. We predicted this one would appear at some point on the US's side, and here it is.
Indeed, because the US is going to have to venture into pretty much unknown territory, which is Nomad. That's the territory where it's a coin toss or coin flip for most maps, really, compared to free mod, where the Chinese time did phenomenally, or for example, Double Time and Hard Rock, which were the complete contrasts of each other. Hard Rock being favored for the United States and Double Time for the Chinese side. But in this case, they seem to want to get all the nomads out of the way to see if someone can get an early lead and then maybe close it out with some of their confidence. Well, yeah, Doomsday, what do you want to say about the creator? What does it entail? What kind of specific skill sets does it require?
This one's more of an alternation map. It's 280 BPM, but it's made up mostly of 1/2 mapped single notes in a stream setup, where you're basically going to be alternating fingers to hit these notes. Very linear patterns, very old style patterns, mapped by Saturn, a very infamous mapper for mapping lots of symmetry patterns and lots of geometric shapes, which are quite tricky to snap to. There's quite a few 1/3 swing streams in this as well, and plenty of back and forth, like jump or sliders on jumps that are incredibly wide, kind of tricky to read as well if your reading's not up to snuff. But for the most part, this is going to be an alternation map for those more technical players in your team. And we're seeing people like Toy come in for this, no surprise at all, and Desan also for the Chinese team.
In the end, some stats from our very beloved statistician on this map. Debbie has given us that for this map, between these two teams, China has average of 149,000, whereas USA has an average of 620,000 between the players. Average accuracy on this map is 96.78. So looking at the stats alone, US does have a lead purely by the numbers.
See how they do now, though. Numbers only go so far, but I mean, US have some really good players on this sort of thing. So does China. We're seeing Toy with an early break,
along with ET and Desan.
Yeah. 3 FCs 2-2 in favour of China in the early goings, hitting the first chorus here. People nailing that back and forth slider jump section really well. Happy Stick dropped out. Going to be looking really good for China now in these early goings.
Right, it seems like the two teams are trading momentums now. And if you notice that the style is very reminiscent of a certain free mod pick we do have, and if it does come up, I think we'll see some similar patterns being shared. China here, definitely sharing some old players, totally GGBY, Desan all from the old era, and I think this map will bring some good memories back to them, especially considering they're from that era where this map was first ranked.
So far, so good for China right now. 3-4 combos to diddly squat on the US team. A rather shaky start from the US on this one.
Yep, I don't think they're ready for this BPM, although the pick itself may be more really justified later, but I think right now it's safe to say that China does have a very clear edge in terms of speed so far in the game.
The US team is bringing their combos back though, but with 3-4 combos still going at the halfway point, nearly at the end of the second chorus here for China, it's looking more and more than this one's going to be quite one-sided. But there is a tricky section coming up now, a circular stream of notes which can be quite nasty. We'll see if they can deal with it.
Yep, and there's still about 1/3 of the map left to go, and anything can happen. We do see Itki and Desan biting the dust at that tricky pattern just mentioned, Doomsday.
But the other 3 FCs on China still going, no problems at all, and they are looking extremely strong on this pick, much stronger than they did in previous plays on this, I gotta say.
Yep, they certainly practice. This is one map you can't possibly do well without practicing. Unless, of course, you have just been playing this map since day one, and you saw that this map was just chosen into map pool. You probably have that evil grin on your face, but I highly doubt any of these players are like that. We do see Toy, Xarius, Happy Stick all bringing up their combos now, but is it enough to challenge China? Is it enough? Does it seem like Xarius is gonna break?
I don't think so. That score difference is pretty massive. Like 600k at this point, this isn't enough time for it to come back. We've seen Spring Lane losing his FC, but GGBY and Tatori still holding on to that full combo. Look at Tatori's accuracy, 99.3 is insane. But will he get the FC? That's the question.
Oh, he's known as the one miss growth spell after all, but I'm not gonna jinx him. I mean, that's only what he's known for, right, guys?
It's a bit late now. Oh wait, no, he's still good. He still gets it.
Yep, there it is, and we do see 2 full combos from China on this map. However, very noteworthy mention to the American players. Happysick, Toy, and Xerius definitely did not give up, and they worked so hard to the very end. They kept on believing in their team, but of course they're going to lose their own pick. And once again, it's back to China's pick to make a lead happen.
All right, so in that case, it was pretty much Totori performing pretty much being Rust Bell and just performing pretty well on this alternate pick. It was to be expected that he's going to get a really high combo, but a full combo is still quite a feat. But the volatile element here is going to be GGBY. That's the surprise here, who also has another combo. That's going to be the extremely big difference. Which made out the big difference in this match, obviously next to Rust Bell's FC. But GGBY stepping up and just performing really well for this Grand Finals. GGBY is one of those backbone members who's there to just, fill in the team if there's not a perfect 4-man lineup. He's just gonna be in there and perform. But no one really expected him to just FC a map right off the bat.
Yep, and with translation, Steve-san, of course, is laughing at himself for his performance. I don't think you have to be so hard on yourself, Steve-san. Everyone makes mistakes ever so often. Xerius asking, why is this so hard? Spring Lane echoing him. Steve-san saying +1, which means ditto, or like, I feel the same.
I was saying about GGBY pulling out that FC. I mean, GGBY is one of the old men of the China team. China has a lot of experience, but GGBY is, I'd probably say, experienced of a lot. He has so many hours, so many plays, and his experience shows when it comes to maps like this.
Indeed, he is the first player in O Standard, actually maybe the entire OS, to hit level 104, which is you have to get really, really high number of plays and scores in submitted in order to be there.
Indeed, but while you do have to note that while level is a pretty interesting indicator for how much you played, it is not an indicator for skill. So in that case, he actually does have both at least. There are some people who actually go for those level farming in particular because it doesn't require you to perform the hardest maps the entire game, it just requires you to perform a lot. But having a huge skill and then playing a bunch of maps is gonna at least increase somewhat of your skill, and it's gonna increase your consistency if you get just so many plays all around.
We've seen RTXE come in, and the next pick has been dropped. It's going to be hurting for a really hurtful pain. We expected to see this one because this has been China's bread and butter pick. They've been excellent on this, and they're looking to leverage it this time.
I can't believe I'm actually translating more for the American team right now, but Xerius asking why is China playing so well today? Of course, I think this is more like a banter, but Xerius certainly is showing that he is connected to China in some way, hoping for maybe a mercy.
Yeah, that last map was really dominating for the Chinese side. What I would say was a coin flip, coin toss. It was just GGBY performing excellently on it. But now we do have Hurting for a very hurtful pain, and this is the first free mod map of the entire match so far. And free mod does require 2 players in the team to pick either Hidden or Hard Rock, or both if you're feeling extremely confident. And in this case, Hard Rock, we already saw Hard Rock. It's gonna make things a lot more difficult, but Hidden is going to be a mod which makes the circles fade away, and then you have to press them after a certain delay. So you pretty much have to plan into the future, and you can't really just stare at a circle at the same all the time. But I do not think we're gonna see Hidden on this map at all. We're just gonna see 4 Hard Rocks, I believe, 2 from each team. Not too many Hard Rocks. You can go 4 mods in this map for the entire team, but that would be way too risky. In the sense of the Chinese side, we will see Springland and owc going for the hard rock. They're gonna be sacrificial lambs, is what they're called. Is when you don't really expect them to see, but just expect them to pick up mods, so the other two members, Decent and Totori, can perform on no mod and have the highest chance of seeing this map. On the United States, we probably see Happy Stick rolling the hard rock and maybe Fiery Rage. But in general, we're gonna see the least mods possible, so we have the highest chance of seeing. And Doomsday, what can you tell us about this map, especially considering the reading aspects of it?
Yeah, this is a really tricky one to read and snap to. This one is, again, another alternation style map. Similar to the creator, as we mentioned. This one is less about really curvy linear patterns. This is more about weird linear patterns. Lots of sharp corners coming out of these streams. Lots of back and forth jumps within those alternation sections. This is more about reading and less about simply dealing with the speed like the creator is, because the creator has quite a bit of elements that require speed. This one's all about reading this very strange layout that Tsuhaha mapped.
Alright, and just to note, free mods are generally really well performed by the Chinese side. We did see, for example, an FC by Totori last time around, which was 993,000 points, plus the average of China is just completely miles above the United States on this one in terms of stats. But we do see Happy Stick going with the Hidden, which is interesting to say the least. Let's hope he prepared for this pretty a lot, because this map on Hidden is not easy, not at all. Hard rock is usually picked to make this map a lot easier to read, because you do not have the trouble of reading this on a push at 9 on 280 BPM, which is a decent node density if you look at the normals all around. So in that case, hard rock is a little bit easier to just, pull off and improvise on, while Hidden does require a lot of experience in this case. And once again, we see Totori rolling with the double S. He did keep a double S for the longest time, which was, I think, until like 70% of the map, and then got a 100 or 200 score. Fire Rage, on the other hand, though, for the US is performing well, and it's key. For the hard rock, most of the time you would count the mod players out in terms of score, but Itsuki is definitely showing up as the second highest score in his team currently. Well,
Just going back to the Totori 100%, worth noting that I'm pretty sure he has the highest score on this at the moment with 993,000 points.
Yeah, I think that's the highest score of no mod pretty much on every map. The only time it got improved on, or higher score than that from Roswell, was on a double time FC pretty much. But you do see Springland and owc on the Chinese side pretty much being the sacrificial lambs currently and doing the job as they are supposed to, give a bit of score for the team. Decent is trying to get the lead back after Totori's miss. Thankfully, Totori still has the accuracy. Fire Rage also missed, so the playing field is leveled. It's currently Decent holding the lead, because there is no combo on the side of the US.
Right, Happy Stick was holding a very impressive combo on Hidden though, I have to mention. However, his break just now was not going to help US. They were so close to a comeback. I do feel bad for these players. And it's going to be, of course, China's chance to take over with the accuracy, as surprising as it may sound, on this map, to go with a quick win.
Indeed, Decent currently stepping up. I mean, he was pretty much the second normal guy to believe in his team, but Tori wasn't quite up for the task to see this again, which is to be expected. I mean, come on, you gotta give it to him. Seeing this map again, unfortunately, one miss. He got the exact same score.
The one miss Rustbell strikes again. Oh my god. I mean, the name change probably didn't pay off.
Yeah, that was pretty much the Chinese strategy of having two sacrificial lambs and believing in Decent and Totori to full combo this, or just get a really high score. And it worked out. On the US side, we did see Happy Stick going with the Hidden, and I'm actually surprised. That is a pretty good performance for Hidden. Seems like he did definitely prepare for this one, but it just wasn't enough in general. But I do have to commend Happy Stick for trusting in himself to pick Hidden on this.
Yeah, this is very hard on Hidden, especially when you're not so comfortable with reading these patterns. However, definitely, Happy Stick has shown up incredibly well on this pick. I was not expecting a Hidden player to do this well on this pick, to be honest. I was expecting the Hard Rock to just take over. But Happy Stick showing that you can still do well on this map on Hidden. He is going to surprise us a lot more times, I think, this weekend.
Indeed, but that was Happy Stick definitely is performing a lot better than, for example, last time he played. He underperformed a bit, but he's here to show up. But the Chinese side is looking pretty strong too. But to be fair, this was one of the expected wins for China because it is a free mod, and they just performed wonderfully on every single free mod and outperformed pretty much all the teams in the tournament. Or the teams which were in the tournament for now.
Yeah, we gotta be really respectful to those who are eliminated. I mean, we do have a lot of strong teams who are prematurely eliminated, as many would like to say, simply because that the map was easier, so challenging, and anything could happen, and they happened as much as to their dismay. And we'll see them back, I'm sure, next year in next year's LWC. But for this year, all spotlights on China versus USA right now. And right now, it's certainly in China's favor. USA gonna pick base drop freaks, Fiery Rage dropping that pick, and yeah, I would say this one USA has a little more edge over compared to China. But then again, anything could have happened since last weekend. And China may have practiced.
That is a M-Log coming in for the United States side, which is an interesting adaptation for the United States. In general, United States is gonna look a lot better on this one. Let's just face the facts. They do have the pretty much four-man lineup for this. The Chinese side does have the addition of Crystal, who has a very specific skill set, and this map is one of them. Crystal and Totori are the players to look out for on the Chinese side. Decent is going to perform pretty well. Matsumoto Rise is going to perform. It's just going to be there to be there and be the fourth player pretty much. In the United States, though, that's where things get also a little bit interesting. So we do have this situation of Toy being on a setup which is not at home, pretty much. He's in Japan currently and he's playing on a different setup. So in that case, he's not feeling too confident. And the last time the United States played this, it was pretty much Itsuki. Itsuki performed phenomenally on it, so he's one player to look out for. Fiery Rage also was absolutely dominating in his performance, getting 850,000 points. But Toy was also a really important backbone. He had like 600,000 points, which was good, pretty good in addition to his team score. But currently he's missing and is being subbed off for Emla, which probably has to do something with the situation he's currently in. Maybe not as confident in himself currently. But yeah, some stats to look out for. The US did have 710,000 points on average on this map, while Itsuki had, I think, 900,000 points. But on the Chinese side, not to forget, we did have also Totori Rosberg with the 900,000 points, the almost FC, and Crystal with the 700,000 points. So Crystal and Totori hopefully gonna perform wonderfully on it. Average on the Chinese side was 660,000, so it's a little bit close, but favored in US.
And some info on this map. This map is mapped by the Chinese mapper YFBMP, who is known for using just ridiculous patterns in wonderful ways. And this is very tricky despite it being only 5.7 star-ish in star difficulty, but the use of sliders are completely brutal and the players have to really watch out for every single pattern in order to not make a mistake. And there you see Crystal already dropping, wherein that's going to give USA an early lead.
Oh, alright, so, and this map, just to give guys a bit of a closer look, you see it's pretty interesting in terms of the patterns, like the streams are accelerating and changing spacing and increasing, and it's just absolutely crazy in terms of the mapping style. Like, it's really hard to hold combo on this kind of map, so something like a foot combo is pretty unlikely, but we're gonna see probably 2 really high combos. If we see like 3 almost full combos, then I'd be really surprised, but I wouldn't doubt the United States to perform that one. But in general, it's not too fast, it's 170 BPM, but the trickiness comes in terms of the song and how it is pretty much replicated and trying to be imitated as a map. And you can see pretty interesting streams all around and sliders, which are gonna be hard to act properly in Scorpion 2.
And they're USA already, I would say USC. USA already dropping all of their combos. Not looking good, definitely. But I mean, there's still a good chunk of map left. Anything can happen. They do have a accuracy leeway, as I would say, but not really showing up right now. Maybe they're gonna make something happen later. For now, it's China's free reign on this map. But I'm gonna say that Happy Steak and M-Law, both very good players on this map. They have a lot more to show. So please do not take it that this is their final performance. The show is just getting started.
There's not too much in it. It can turn if the US can recover, but you got to be looking at those 2 full combos and thinking it's going to be a tough ask for both those players to drop and the rest of that team to implode, because at the moment those combos are incredibly dominant.
And also have to raise that USA is known for making from the behind comebacks. So China, even though with the lead, they have to be very careful. I mean, we have seen this with when they played against South Korea, when they played against China last year, actually. And yeah, so this USA team definitely, they are worthy of a lot, capable of much.
Matsumoto Visa though,
Yeah, he's definitely
expected
practiced
this. He's going ham right now. He does break, but safe to say that is a saucer combo not many of us were expecting, but absolutely excellent. Tatari's still going, but really, that if it wasn't for that combo from Matsumoto, this one would probably be in US's favor. So pulling out when it mattered the most.
Of course, and he bought enough time for his teammates to recover. Meanwhile, on the US side, Itsuki also with a 4-digit combo now. That break in the earlier section is shown that it's just a fluke miss, and he is going to be able to come back to help guard USA. But is he alone enough? I don't think so. Happy Six right behind him, but with Crystal and Totally all holding high combos and full combos, it's not going to be enough with remaining like 10% of the map on my screen right now.
Yeah, I think this one's still going to go to China. I don't think they're going to make up to 300k at this point, but nevertheless, they're going to make it quite close though. But
yeah,
wow.
they're definitely making a run for it. But this is the final part where the map is becoming increasingly difficult. Like the patterns are just wider and more spread out. Each is more demanding than the previous.
We see a fail out from M-Law at the end there, but it was China's point either way. They take it 3-2. A slider break from Tatori and D-San. That's unfortunate, actually. There's a few slider breaks from D-San, but no actual misses.
But that performance by Matsumoto was pretty much a repeat of GGBY's legacy, pretty much. GGBY also was one of the backbone members and just, gonna be in there to play this map and try his best and get a decent combo in there. But then Matsumoto Risa is coming in and just performing absolutely phenomenally.
Safe to say.
I mean, I think Toy missing in this one was hurting him a little bit. But I don't think it would have changed too much because the entire United States was only around 500,000 points compared to last time around. Things happen, but there are plenty of different maps left.
So I just need to cover up. My apologies, it is 4-2. I had a couple of technical issues, so I did miss one of the maps. My apologies. It is 4-2 to China right now, and that is a pretty strong lead at this point, but it is still all to play for with this very grueling series. Still plenty to go for them.
Oh, and the Chinese side is going to try to rack up points on the free mod side. which is the safer bet for the Chinese team. And this would be Mad Machine, which is also once again gonna be favored for the Chinese side. Tutori performing well on it, and just taking into account all these speed demons on the Chinese, like the owc, for example. People comboed Mephisto once, which was absolutely insane. Alright, Mephisto is 255 BPM, Mad Machine is 270, so it's a fair deal faster. But owc is still gonna be there to perform well for his team. But you're gonna expect a lot of low scores in general. This map is not easy and does require such a specific skill set, which people rarely really practice and use in maps. And this one is gonna be free mod once again. 270 BPM streams, and people are gonna have to play the Sacrificial Lamb once again, either going hidden or hard rock. But I do think United States has a fighting chance because they did prepare a little bit in terms of strategies. You know, this is actually so fast that some people are trying to change their playstyle to tap X, which means that you tap, usually players play with a tablet or a mouse and then on the one hand of aiming and then tapping with the other hand on the keyboard. But in this case, they're gonna switch it up and start tapping with their tablets for one button and the other one for the keyboard. So you can pretty much mash through it. And that's actually a valid playstyle for this map in a tournament setting.
When you gotta get that combo, yeah. Because combo is pretty much king, because if you can full combo that stream section, the extra 200 or so combo is a massive point gain for your team. I'm looking at players like owc, players like Tottery perhaps as well, and Emlaw of course, to do really well on this.
And as expected, actually, all the modded players are going to go with Hard Rock. This is a map that becomes increasingly difficult when put on hidden, simply by its AR9 plus BPM 280 or 270. Very high, basically. So no density is certainly very high, and you would like AR10 over AR9, simply for the sake of making it easier to read.
This one is one that isn't really for the accuracy. We see averages of 85% accuracy on this. Pretty brutal on the accuracy end, but no surprises considering the ridiculous speed of these streams. Double hard rock for both teams. Pretty predictable, that one. Here come the streams now, though. Breaking left, right, and center. Tutori had a pretty major combo through that. He is the leader of the Chinese team, going to be taking the lead here, and the combos are an advantage of China. This is going to be a Chinese pick, I'm pretty sure, because there's nothing really left for them to drop on. owc rocking a 300 combo with hard rock as well, being the leading light. But that one all comes down to that stream section.
Indeed, owc is known as a speed star of China. He is known to be very good at these kinds of speed maps. But meanwhile, US is going to show that they have prepared. Xerius, recovered combo now. But not enough time for his team to make a comeback. And being so short on the length, Mad Machine will go over to China as well.
We thought this one might have done. owc and Tutori bring in the goods. GGBY with an excellent combo rather, as well with hard rock. They had that edge on that. This one is a tricky one, a risky one that could go either way with some of the players these teams have. But China have historically done a bit better than everyone else, and in this case, they did a bit better than US, and we'll take that point.
Totally asking, are you human? With 0 misses, are you a human? And Xerius, of course, speaking the same thing.
Yeah. Slider breaks. The sliders in that section are very easy to slider break because of the well, for one, the low overall difficulty of that means you can note lock on them if you overstream them, and also just simply keeping up with the rhythm and hitting that on time in Score V2 is tricky.
Indeed, but keeping on the rhythm is gonna be another really important aspect for this next map, which is gonna be Ant Katanov, a hidden pick. So in that case, rhythm is gonna be key, especially on this certain specific map, because this one is a little bit different to normal hidden maps because of one certain thing, which is gonna be the stacks. The stacks is the biggest gimmick of this map. which means usually when nodes stack, you do have the nodes slightly next to each other. But on this map, it is mapped in such a way, and the settings are set in such a way that when you have nodes overlapping, they are pixeled perfectly on top of each other. And that just makes it really difficult to kind of count out of the corner of your eye how many nodes you really have to press. So sometimes you have like three nodes as a stack with a slider below it, but you can't really read it as three nodes. You might think it's 2 or 1. It looks like 1 on the corner of your eye, but if you look closely, it's 3 nodes or 2 nodes. And if you haven't practiced this map, this is looking pretty bad. And that's the main gimmick of this one. Players to log out for are going to be Toy and Totori. And in general, just people who practice this one. Itsuki also performed pretty phenomenally on it, and next to the stacks, it does have some stream jumps and some decently spaced jumps and overlaps in general, so it's hard to read, and the rim is also a bit intricate.
I'm sure both of these teams have a 4 lineup that have been practicing this one, so I'm sure all these players know what they're doing with this. They would have put the time in, I'm sure. We're seeing some early breaks, but for the most part, people holding mostly strong early on. Itsuki breaking on that stream though, along with Desan.
Alright, and the last time actually the Team US played this, they performed phenomenally on it. So I understand this being picked for them. Toy did get an FC, Itsuki performed really well on it in general. It's just, it was a good pick by the US, but we didn't see the Chinese side perform on this yet. And currently they're looking a lot stronger than the US is.
At the moment, it's Toy versus Crystal on the FC front, 1 FC to 1. But major combos are in favour of China, but it's only by a whisker. That score difference, pretty negligible at this point. Hitting the easier section, I'd say. This one doesn't have many of those nasty stacks we were talking about.
Indeed, and the interesting things about the stacks is that you need to know the map or listen really closely to the music, because sometimes there are double stacks or triple stacks, and knowing how many there are is really important. But yeah, Toy is still performing wonderfully for his team. I hope I didn't jinx him yet. Please full combo, so it's not gonna be a curse at all. But Crystal, man, Crystal is pretty much one of these players who almost missed. I think he's feeling the pressure currently. He's definitely feeling it. But Crystal has a specific skill set, and Hidden is going to be one of the points where he's going to come in for the team and perform as well as he can.
At the moment, that is all China need, but he needs him to hold on, hitting one of the final tricky sections now. This bit's pretty darn difficult to read.
Crystal and Matsumoto were actually picked by the Chinese roster, picked for the Chinese roster over Ifolo and FarQ, 2 other very good Chinese players, simply because they have the edge on these kind of weird, tricky maps. And I think they predict the future with that one, because these OWC will certainly have a lot of very hard difficulty hidden pool across all map pools, and having a good hidden player in your team is a very valuable asset.
The 4 combo for the US had dropped earlier. Toy had dropped. Xarius and Matsumoto Rise had also dropped. It's just Crystal with that 4 combo, but he's against 2 1k combos on the US side. Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be down to the wire if those 2, Fire Agent Itsuki, can hold on. Or will it be? I think they might just be short, you know. I think Crystal might have done it for China.
This is an accuracy win also. Looking at Rust, although he did drop, his accuracy is certainly there, and he's going to be able to protect China with Crystal.
And we were saying, Crystal has those maps where he can come in and shine, and he has done so right there. Crystal shining bright today with that full combo. 96%. The accuracy may have been lacking compared to the other scores, but that combo won them the day.
Yeah.
It's 6-2.
Also, Crystal, as you mentioned, is a shining bright. Crystal's Chinese nickname. Every Chinese player has a Chinese nickname. Crystal's Chinese nickname is Little Star.
Pretty fitting, gotta say.
Yeah. And he is a very good Catch the Beat. I think that name came from his Catch the Beat community. Yeah, he's a current Catch the Bee champion. I don't know if you guys mentioned that.
He is. He's a very multifaceted.
Well, damn, that match was pretty much the Chinese side performing wonderfully. Matsumoto, Risa definitely prepared for this one. Decent and Xeris, you definitely saw a huge difference in score compared to the rest of the players. That's just maybe perhaps a lack of practice, just misreading one or two stacks and forgetting one or two stacks, especially by the frequency they're in this map. You can easily forget one of them and just be like, oh damn, I wouldn't want to really miss on that, but you know, you do sometimes. And that's just the difference. While everyone else seem to remember the stacks pretty fine. There are actually some skins out there which alternate color for every single node, which might be something to look out for, but or look into for this for the last map. But that was really good by China, but the United States almost got it back. That was extremely close. A lot closer than I would have expected it to be. And it would have been in the United States' favor, in theory, but the Chinese side just showing up with practice.
It really did look like they had that map down. And at this point, you know, with how much time they've had 2 weeks on the pool at this point, they surely would have got that map down, and they did exactly that.
Indeed. But now it's important to think, what are they gonna pick next? What is the Chinese side gonna pick? Because there aren't too many maps left. The two of the free mods they already picked and they won on them, which was good on them, but the third free mod is a little bit different to the other two, which is more standard in terms of mapping, and the United States can put up a really good fight compared to like the other maps like Mad Machine, where China is just absolutely dominating on. It's just also no mod a possibility, or the approach at 8 hidden. I think it's gonna be approach at 8 hidden. Yeah, it's gonna be B-Mix.
Going for that older style map, pretty long, pretty streamy, on a very low approach rate with hidden, which is a very, very specific skill set. We bring out those specialist players, which China have in Totori, but so did the US in players like Toy. This one should be pretty interesting.
Indeed. You mentioned we do have the two titles, pretty much Toy and Totori. Both of these guys are really good at approach late hidden, let's put it that way. Toy is on a different setup, so he might need to believe in, he's gonna have to believe in his team to step up and perform wonderfully on it. While on the Chinese side, it's pretty much Toy, backed up by Decent, Crystal and Matsumoto. It's pretty much that. That's gonna be the reality of the situation. But as long as it's good enough to win, that's plenty. Let's see how well the United States is gonna perform on this one, because I don't think we've seen it yet from them.
They have not played it.
Toy especially, although on different setup, this map is not so much aim heavy, which I think is the thing he's worried about the most right now. It's a lot more about reading, and he's a very, very good reading player. For those who have not yet seen his scores, check them out. Just search Toy O's on YouTube, and you will find a series of ridiculous videos to blow your mind out. Toy, possibly the best hidden player in North America right now. He can play ARs 8 to 10, you name it, he plays it. And yeah, I'm just looking at him thinking like this guy is definitely the star to show this map.
Indeed, and when you want to search for Toy, be sure to include that O's, because if you just look for Toy, I don't think you're gonna find what you want to find.
I mean, Toy is our boy, but Toy is not necessarily everyone's boy.
Indeed, and this is gonna get into the map. The beginning, it's pretty stream heavy, as Doomsday mentioned. Burst streams, not too aim heavy. CS5, which is the circle size. Circle size 5 is a little bit smaller than usually. CS4, circle size 4 is pretty much the standard circle size, you can imagine. So next to approach at 8, this is also a little bit smaller than people are used to. But the important part is around 60% of the map in, where suddenly the streams get incredibly intense and spaced compared to, you know, what you would expect from this beginning. And that's pretty much the part where most of the players miss and probably die also. But no worries, you can revive afterwards.
Right, but in the end, he has a ridiculously disgusting circular stream patterns. Actually, multiple circular stream patterns for you to just simply choke and fail on.
Indeed, these streams you just have to fight with such a delay that it's really hard to keep up, especially if you previously are used to faster songs like on hardware, for example. You can definitely see some people struggling with the sudden change in approach rate and in just complete mapping.
Yeah, I think although this is like one of the lowest star difficulty maps in the map pool, being only 5.21 in star difficulty rating, I think this is a lot harder when played actually, and also unhidden on top of that. You see players struggling, even though like their actual skill level is much higher than the supposed star difficulty. We do see Fiery Rage still carrying a full combo for the US, which is very nice. He's of course combated by totally Rust Bell on the other side. These two players want to duke it out. Meanwhile, the other players use this chance to recover. If they can, it's going to be a great asset for their team. But if they cannot, it's going to be all up to these two players to duke it out. Right now, the accuracy is being solely determined by, I think, by accuracy alone. The lead, sorry.
Pretty much, yeah. We were saying like it was going to be Toy versus Tatori on this, but we're seeing Fiery Rage take up that mantle with his full combo. Toy is bringing it back after that early break, though.
Something to note is gonna be Toy's egg. Despite his combo being low, just look at his egg, absolutely phenomenal, and he's holding strong. But I think there's gonna be a bunch of egg drops in just a few seconds.
Well, there goes Fiery Rage. That full combo on the US side has been wiped out. It's Toy and Idki to take up the mantle, but China have a massive combo advantage right now going into the solo. Poor Toy getting some silly misses despite that accuracy he has right now. He just can't match Crystal and Tatori's combos right now. Crystal once again bringing it out on this reading heavy pick. Tatori with that full combo right now, but some really, really tricky streams coming in the second half of the solo. Can split teams.
Oh yeah, and the solo's coming in. Tatori is holding phenomenal. Look at him go. And I think it's looking pretty much like a pretty much match point and win for China in this case. But let's not forget that the Chinese team is coming from the losers bracket, so there's going to be a second best of 13 played after this.
Not much score advantage though, 150k, but that combo from Tatori is single-handedly carrying China right now. He's past the hard part now. Some tricky parts to come up now, some tricky doubles, but the main storm has passed, and Tatori, the big player, showing up in the big occasion to bring this to a second best of 13. Pretty amazing stuff from him, it looks like.
Indeed, I don't think Team USA expected this, to be honest. They were expecting a challenge from the Chinese team, but for them to really get this much trouble, I think there's something you have to chew on over the break that we're going to see in between the matches, which I think is 15 minutes. Also noteworthy is that last year, in the almost exact same situation where USA is from the winners bracket.
Wait a
second, what?
Wait a sec. Is it a win from China or is it not?
I can actually tell.
No, it's. I believe this is going to go to China. Looks like it has signed, sealed, and delivered.
Okay. Yeah, although multiple reasons seems to have failed, but China would walk away with a win with totally full combo. Ridiculously amazing.
Oh damn!
I was gonna say, like last year, it was also United States coming from the losers bracket with a 7-2 victory on the first round, and China replicating this in their favor this year, and we're gonna see a second round of 13.
Yeah, there we go. We saw China last week. We knew that they are on form, and they are pulling it off again, bringing it full on. But that FC from Satori on that map is absolutely incredible. We haven't seen much like that on this map yet. Of course.
mean, Doomsday, if you just look at the top 50 of this map, there's only one hidden FC, I believe, and that's from Toy. I mean, and now Tutorial FC is on Scooby-Doo. Unfortunately, it's not gonna submit for the top 50 rankings, but that's absolutely nuts. I mean, come on. And then on score V2, which is gonna add this score V2 slider accuracy to the score, that's even insane. It's just I'm at a loss for words for that score. That's absolutely phenomenal from Tutori.
You need those big players when you're in a match like this, stepping up to the plate. But this one is going to another best of 13. The map pool will be reset, the bans and such will be reset. The players will get a 10-minute break, it looks like, before they play the second match.
Indeed, and once again, for those who are not really sure why China has to win again, it's because earlier 2 weeks ago in the semifinals, United States knocked down China into the losers bracket with a 6-4 win. And this time, it's actually China coming back from the losers bracket, having to claim that win from the United States over a best of 3 set. So USA already won China once in semifinals, and China has just beaten USA just right now. So it's 1-1 right now, and whoever wins his next match gets the title of owc 2016 champion.
We were talking about how, when you've come through the losers bracket, you have all those matches on this pool. When you fight back through the losers bracket, you have that momentum, you have that ability on it. And it's what's won loser bracket finalists the title the last few years. We're seeing it again because China just look absolutely amazing right now. I mean, the US have pushed it close on many of those maps, but you've got to hand it to China. 7-2 is a pretty one-sided result. US are going to have to pick themselves up after that.
Indeed, but although I have to of course redirect attention to the fact that the wins, many of the wins were very, very close, like decided by 30,000 points only, and that basically means it could have swung any other way had the drops happened anywhere else. So really, it's up to the players to perform at their expected level just now, or even better, in order to make a difference.
Indeed, and in the meantime, I guess we can try to reflect on what happened. This is gonna be there's gonna be a second best of 13 coming up because of the losers bracket winning against the winners bracket in the grand finals, and now having to repeat it. Now everyone is on a fair square on the same level, and this is going to be the deciding best of 13. And looking at the scores in general, Raspberry once again, I believe, has stepped up as the carrier of his team and just performed phenomenally, actually overperforming on some picks, while Black was underperforming, or at least didn't have the just insane score he did have last week. For example, on Clary's Colorful, he did perform 500,000 points, while he did get an FC once, which was 1 million. But that's pretty much just an extreme outlier, which is an extreme score in general. But like the hidden pick was actually one of the most surprising. Katanov and Silent Voyage, the performances on there was phenomenal from the Chinese side.
Yeah, we've seen in the past, because that's appeared a couple of times for China in earlier matches. We've seen Satori generally be the strongest player on their team, but for the most part, as a team performance, they generally struggled on that. But when you pull off an FC like that, on a map like that causes many players problems. It doesn't really matter, because you can single-handedly carry that, and there's not many maps really in tournaments these days you can do that on in Score V2.
Indeed, and looking at these stats for now, the US team was underperforming a little bit on some certain picks. Maybe that was mostly because of the contrast of what happened the last time they played. Like the best drop map, for example, where, I don't know, like Itsuki got 900,000 points, Fiery Rage 800,000 points, Toy 600. That was pretty much an outlier, because that was an absolutely great performance by them, pretty much. And it's really hard to sometimes repeat performances which are absolutely incredible like that. So I understand they're not necessarily underperforming, but rather that's just the way sometimes life goes. That's pretty much the reality of the situation here. But the Chinese team did step up in every sense of the imagination. I mean, just look at the creator, GGBY, stepping up. Katanov, Matsumoto Risa, like, whoa, these guys, like, from guys who don't expect anything, they just step up.
Yeah, that fourth player for China really stepped up today, really. That was what split a lot of the maps. Like Matsumoto Risa and Crystal really made it happen when it counted. And on a big stage, it's hard to do. It's hard to get your head around. Not this time, though. I think for the US, though, it could be a bit of ring rust. Like, of course, China played a lot of matches last week. US only played one, so perhaps they took a while to get into it. They may not have set themselves up correctly. And that's why they may have underperformed on a couple of the maps. I feel like they didn't perform weakly, but it was the case of that they did a bit better before, but now they've had a run through. Now they've seen, they've had a taste of what China are good at, what they aren't right now. In terms of certain players, and the US have had a taste of how they're doing right now. They can, maybe come back with a different plan of attack, come out with a couple of different picks.
Oh yeah,
just try and get themselves together.
I think they didn't have to reconsider their plan because a lot of them were their own picks that they lost on, and I don't think they were expecting that because USA being a very defensive team was known to be good in their defensive plan, and they do practice a lot to make sure that their plan goes through, which is why we see them there standing in this grand finals today. However, against this Chinese team, that what they have right now is not good enough. It's very clear. So right now, as we are talking and waiting for the next match to begin, USA is, I believe, heatedly debating in their own Discord server about what to do next, because they're gonna need this time to look things over and see how to make a comeback happen.
Indeed, and I'd say since the US is pretty much in a losing situation, I mean, losing their own picks is a pretty fatal hit to your confidence. They did show a bit of promise when trying to answer to some of the Chinese picks. Like, for example, Gimme Chocolate was a Chinese pick, and Xeris, for example, answered with a phenomenal combo, comboing through the 3-part. So while the Chinese side did step up, the US also did have a few players shining through. But now it's gonna be interesting what we will see in the next best of 13, because what the US did, as you mentioned, is not working out. They are quite a defensive team and want to win their own picks. They don't care about winning the enemy's picks. Obviously, it's gonna be a good idea to win the enemy picks, but in this case, they're focusing more on their own picks. So in that case, looking at the performances, either they're gonna try again to see if they get combos, maybe they just got unlucky. That's also a possibility, but there are a few maps which are still untested for both teams today. Which is, for example, Helix, Yaku Yogami, and a interesting free mod which is very likely to be picked, Mirko Sympho X. So these are kind of maps which are probably gonna get picked this time around, if the US is not feeling too confident in repeating the same maps as they did before. Dopamine, I think, is gonna be the one map staying open, unless the US is like, let's play the lottery.
I feel like the US is still going to go with some of those no mod picks that they saw this time. I think we'll see a base drop freaks again, because in the past we've seen them do extremely well on that, and they did have a decent run this time. And I feel like now they've had a run around, they'll be feeling more comfortable on that on a second time. That seems something like players like Idki and Fiery Rage and all that. They did so well in the Idki did really well in the past, having near FC against South Korea. And I feel like now they've had a look at that. They'll be looking at that again. And yeah, of course, you mentioned Gimme Chocolate, which was picked by China. Well, that one is a wild card pick. Yeah, they won that time, but they can just as easily lose it if they, mess up on that stream. I don't know if we'll see that one again, because I feel like it is a bit risky, even if they did win it. What do you think about that, actually? Because that's a bit of a contentious one. Because you can say people like Xerius and that are going to be fine on the stream, but I feel like that stream is just, it's such a massive difficulty spike, it could go either way.
Yeah, that's why it might most likely be a little bit of a coin toss in this case. But I'd be interested, Ephraim, what do you think in general about situation of the US is currently in?
I think they are just a little bit tied up with their pace because USA is known to be a very good team with a generally strong roster. Like they have the best PP roster, I think, in the entire tournament pool, like being the highest top seeded. But PP alone doesn't speak for much, like you two have said, and that China has shown to be a very good reading team and generally have a lot of like edges they can rely on. So USA has to look to China and think, what does China do poorly on, and what did we do that we could look into and see if we can put a better roster on? Because I think some of them could be a better roster, and I think that's where you can regain momentum. And yeah, it's up to the players to make a strategy change, because as an outsider commentator, I can only commentate from what I've seen, and the players will definitely know themselves better than us, which is what I hope so, because otherwise they're gonna have a little more trouble, really.
Indeed, and just to mention it once again, this is pretty much a rematch, you could say. The second best of 13, because China won 2-7. Coming out of the losers bracket, they are gonna play once again against the United States. This time pretty much for the result of being the champions. The Chinese team did lose once in the entire tournament. That's the way double elimination brackets work. You can lose once in the brackets and come down to the losers brackets and then work your way up to the grand finals, pretty much. And since the United States didn't drop a single game yet, they, obviously they do deserve a loss. If they have a loss, they do reserve a rematch. Pretty much, they do deserve a second chance, like every
Indeed.
other team, like the Chinese team did have previously. And that's the way double elimination works. And China currently reset the brackets, and now we're gonna get into the best of 13, the second one screen.
Yep, should be getting in there in just a moment. The players are back in after a break to huddle up, recuperate, and sort out the strategy for the next match, the final match of the tournament. This one decides it.
Yep. Whoever wins this one will walk away with the prizes and the title of owc World Cup champion.
Yeah, and we did see Pepe introduce the prizes previously. They did try something different this year, but things didn't pan out, so they're going for something similar as last year and some badges, some pretty interesting emblems. But next to that, we do have the honor on the line of these two teams. The USA is the defending champions from last year. And they were in the same exact situation the Chinese team was in, which was coming out of losers bracket, resetting the bracket, and then winning the entire tournament. Which is pretty interesting this time around, that the roles have been reversed.
Yep.
Oh, Crystal is rolling a 49. Chance for Toy to break the spell. Let's see if Toy can actually make something happen here to cleanse his name of any guilt.
I think it'd be pretty seismic if... Oh, wow, okay.
Oh, we now know that that's definitely Cookie Z rolling.
USA just won a roll. It's all over.
It's over. I'm sorry, Cookie Z, get out, please. Multi account confirmed.
And there's a background story, actually. Toy is currently not at his home. He's currently in Japan and is playing on Cookie's setup. So that's why we're saying that Cookie is rolling. Because he won a roll. I mean, come on, you don't win a roll as Toy. You only win a roll as some other person, which is not Toy, because Toy has successfully lost every single roll until this point.
Yep. Clearly, it's collusion. Actually, that if you haven't met, well, I think you might have mentioned this before, but we'll mention it again. Despite Toy being halfway across the world, he's still here to back up his team, which I think is commendable.
Yeah, it's very commendable in my opinion. It shows just how much you treat your teammates as your comrades in line, and just how much you consider this title at hand. Which I think, like if you have that much desire for it, you'll do well. And I think Toy will show up for it.
Same bans from both teams. President Island from the Chinese side, and Mephisto from the US side. The really fast, streamy double time pick banned against China, which have done excellently on it in the past, and the small circles hard rock pick, because the US have done well on that in the past. All makes sense.
Indeed, pretty much the repeat of the bans once again. So that pretty much means that both teams are not trying to reconsider the strategy, because they do not see any other map which they played as a bigger threat. And let's go! They are going to try the uncontested map so far, which is going to be Helix. Oh, this is a really interesting map. Doomsday, what can you tell us about this map?
Oh,
This is a pretty nasty map to start us off. Certainly not pulling any punches. This map is a very strange, unique map, mapped by Hollowings. Fairly low BPM, mostly made up of very intricate single tap patterns in very strange spacing layouts, lots of changing spacing, lots of geometric shapes, lots of overlapping patterns which are incredibly difficult to read. I'm sure that won't be a problem for these players who would have practiced this map in and out. This map is incredibly unnatural to play for standard players, and is one where the really great reading players will come in. Again, we're looking at players like Toy, who are excellent at this sort of thing. Crystal has done well on this sort of thing in the past, and of course, Totori, who has just been impeccable all match so far. That's my 4-1-1 on that. Pretty nasty one to start us off. What do you think about this, Force?
Oh yeah, it is. I agree completely. It is pretty nasty. All these overlaps. It's Hollowings. Hollowings is a mapper who's pretty known in the community and is known for, I guess you could say, creativity. Let's put it that way, creativity, which is written in bold and capitalized completely in every single one of his maps, or her, I believe. And Hollowings is just, you know, this is a standard Hollowings map with some really interesting jumps, overlaps, and spacing changes. And it's incredibly difficult to see this. Expect low combos. I guess you could expect scores around the Mad Machine mark. Not in terms of accuracy, but rather in terms of combo. And the stats are gonna be the US got on average 388,000 points, while the China is unproven on this map. They didn't play this map a single time in 3 matches. So let's see how well the Chinese team is going to perform on this.
Surprised me a little bit that China hadn't played this yet. This seems like the kind of thing they'd be quite good on, I imagine.
Yeah, maybe they just weren't feeling too confident in it, personally, I'd say. It is a bit of a risk. Not as risky as Dopamine, but still pretty risky.
it's very aim heavy, and if you're not feeling up for a challenge, probably best that you not go near it. The accuracy is more or less consistent across the board, but however, the combos tend to get broken here and there. You'll get to see combos get built up near the second half of the map, and we do see the entire Chinese team already breaking combos. Toy being the only one on the field actually holding a double S.
Oh, he did, but that combo was the most major one for quite a bit, and has pushed his team in the lead by around about 150k.
As the jumps are just unrelenting, and they're absolutely ruining the players. Although we do see USA taking the lead, half a map still left, so anything can happen. And of course, USA is definitely up to protect the lead, with Happy Stick and Toy holding above 99%. China seems to be broken here and there, with nobody being able to hold a good combo or accuracy to combat Toy and Happy Stick combo.
Look at Happy Stick go. He's holding strong. Tricky square. He does break on that square. Really nasty section, but the lead he gave with that combo is going to make his team look really good. 400k at this point.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's assailable. Matsumoto can't do that on his own, and with that break, it's not going to happen. The first point is going to the United States, surely at this point. I don't think we'll see a fail. The ending doesn't really have any fail.
There's no fail momentum in the ending. There's a little tricky stream, but that part is a very slow BPM, so I guess the players will do it just fine on it. Oh, we do see actually a fail from Midkey. Is that what I see?
It might just be maybe the spectator client, but
Yeah, could be. We're still waiting on the MP link to check for us.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Idkey did fail.
Oh, he did. Oh, okay,
but
but
they
still,
still won by
yeah, they
50,000
still won by
points.
50,000.
Yep.
Yep, this is definitely very interesting. Desan is complaining about his area being a little weird. I hope that he's gotten that part sorted out. But yeah, for this first pick, USA is definitely showing up. Like they probably should have picked this in the first match if they had knew that China was not as strong as they may have thought. Happy Stick showing up for his team, absolutely amazing.
But like, are you serious? This is not a map you would expect to win 3 versus 4 at all. This is not something you would expect. You get so low combos that things are pretty much even across the board, but Happy Stick just completely stepping up. Xerius got a pretty good combo too, and Toy just being Toy, but I mean, that's... You would not expect a 3 versus 4 carry on this stage of the map pool and at this stage of the tournament. Just think about it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, oh god, I'm at a loss for words, really.
Yeah, definitely. And China's going to return favor with the colorful. This is also their first pick in the previous match, which they got the first point on. And I think they're going to, of course, utilize the same strategy that had worked. And Fiery Rage going to replace Toy, and owc2016 coming in as well. Being the double time player, he's certainly the kind of player you'd like to see on this kind of map to make a difference for his team.
Yeah, no surprise to see this appear again. It is China's one of China's pocket picks. They did well on it in the past, bringing it out again. But they really need to bring a point back after that. Losing 3v4 on Helix.
Yeah, that was
that's
very.
gotta hurt.
I think that hurt more to their pride than to anything because it pretty much showed that the United States has gotten them cornered on the pick with 3 very, very good scores, being able to take all 4 of them on. And of course, Deadbeat, our statistician, updated the stats, and now for this map, colorful, China's average score is 660,000, USA is 431,000. Accuracy is 94.72% on this map.
Seeing Emlaw swapped in for the US for Idkey, bringing in the speed player, of course. We also see Totoki come in for Matsumoto Reset, and also Spring Lane coming in for Crystal. A pair of excellent double time players coming in. The usual lineup we see for this one. We've seen an FC from Totoki in the past on this.
We do see a slight change up in the roster for the Team US currently because Emlaw is going to replace Idkey. Idkey played this map last time around and got 350,000 points. Now Emlaw is going to
on this one. They're spilling with more bricks, but it's less with the break but more with the accuracy. And the lead is slowly
I don't
shrinking.
know,
Over
you
to-
know.
Oh, Fire Rage! Fire Rage has a very high combo. I just noticed that.
You guys have just nicked it. Okay.
Oh, you just think it's 6,000. This is so close. Oh my god. This is so much. This is what we're talking about. Xerius and Fire Rage showing up for US. Alright, and Happy Stick as well. And just absolutely like surprising China here, I think. They were not expecting to have lost this pick. And it's very much in favor of US now with 2-0. China has got to slow down and think for a second. What can they do? Because right now, this is looking to be very much surprisingly in US's favor.
Just
Double time dominance.
6,000 points. Come on, like
Only 6,000 points, and they're going for Yakubyogami. Another pick we haven't seen in the previous match.
yeah, the US is definitely gonna try to get this back with the uncontested picks, which is gonna be Yakubyogami, Helix, but taking the point off of China on a double time pick. I mean, 2 million points from China was their worst performance yet on any double time. And that was supposed to be the best pick or like the best point difference in general. Losing that one is gonna be extremely big. I mean, the momentum currently swings for the United States' favor, and that's just due to Xerius Happy Stick stepping up and Fire Rage as well. On Chinese side, they were lacking a little bit in terms of the combo department and accuracy. I don't know, man. This is looking good for the United States, but then again, there's so many maps which China won just single-handedly really well on, but they did have to believe in that fourth player FC, and I don't think it's gonna happen again.
I don't know. I mean,
This map is very hard to FC. I don't think anyone can get FC on this. It's more like how much you can build combo by the section.
Oh yeah, this one definitely. This one is completely different. It's pretty much one of those Helix maps where you do not expect insane combos. You do expect 1, maybe 4-digit combos from each team, like a high carry from maybe Totori and Itki. But other than that, this map is pretty much low combo heaven because there's so many places to miss on. The streams are absolutely disgusting from time to time to just play. It's just the spacing changes. It changes so quickly that it's easy to make a mistake. And in this case, I don't think there'll be any combos at all, really.
we did see Itki have an excellent run on this when they played against South Korea, rocking a 1,300 combo, which I can see that being a single-handed carry on this. If he can do it again, but I mean, that's the question. Can he do it again? He's very excellent on this sort of no-mod, strange pick. He has great consistency when his team has needed it most. Definitely timed it well to bring out his amazing plays. We'll see if he can do it again.
Indeed, but like, there's so many combo potentials for both teams. Totoki, Totori, Disa, GGBY. All of Team China is gonna be pretty well on this. Happy Stick, for example, got a bunch of really good combos in general when he played in solo. So, you know, he might step up once again. He did step up the last few maps, and maybe he's in the groove, he's feeling it, and he's gonna try his best and perhaps carry his team once again.
Seeing GGBY and D-San come in for the Chinese team on this one, bringing in that old hand, or both old hands, both players incredibly experienced. But here we go on this third pick.
Let's see if the consistent 2-man carry or 1-man carry from China can be beat by a consistent 4-man lineup from the US side. We do see some early misses, but that's not too big of a deal, mostly because of the map not giving you any combo anyway, so you're gonna miss pretty consistently throughout the entire map.
We're seeing things settle a bit more. Idki and Totori, I believe, are holding full combos so far. They didn't suffer from the early breaks, but the other players did. Xavius bringing a comeback as well. Just losing it there though. It's coming down to Idki versus Tatori right now to try and carry this one.
Oh yeah, Idki, a very new player in the roster, but very strong nonetheless. He's got very skilled edges all around him, so he's definitely a very good pick for this map.
Yeah, it's gonna come down to both these players, but just look at Rosper. The 99.87% accuracy is absolutely phenomenal.
That's just been regular old Rustbell from what we've seen. His accuracy on these kind of maps have been nothing short of outstanding. An accuracy advantage is actually going to be a massive help come the end of this, I bet. That will count a lot because accuracy drops are massive on this. And Tatori has historically been very good at keeping accuracy on these kind of maps where everyone else seems to suffer.
But combo is king, and Itsuki is holding the combo, but then again, he's gonna miss, and Heavy Stick is the only one with the combo left. Favors in the United States currently.
Yeah, that Space Dream was a killer, but I want to see more of that, because this map is a lot of just very god-awful Space Dreams, which I think also is the reason why he's not ranked.
And it's the end of the second chorus, and much like on Helix, Happy Stick is the leading light at the moment, pulling his team into a small lead, just about 100k of advantage.
But every 100k matters in this tournament, especially on this stage. And Happy Stick definitely showing up here. He was known to be not so good with accuracy, but look at him now, he's definitely got something going on here for Team USA. And of course, everyone breaking on that. It's just absolutely awful with the streams.
Yeah, there's another really space stream coming up pretty soon, which is also a combo breaker. So I
and of
think...
course, Xera is already building up combos to help guard USA against China.
It's coming down to Tatori though. Now he's the one rocking the major combo. It's such a back and forth map, this. Nasty, nasty patterns. But Tatori shining bright. Xavius losing his combo though. It's all down to Tatori to bring this back for China. Here comes the nasty stream. Oh, and no, he does not get that.
Oh, it's very hard to get though. That is like one stream nobody gets, I think.
But Totoki has a decent combo and its score is getting even closer by the second. Accuracy drops are gonna make or break this one.
Will it be enough? Oh, a few breaks on the US side though.
Oh, it's not enough. Only 5k difference this time. Even closer.
Yeah, it's just at this point it is so back and forth.
This is too close.
Totoki just about, well, almost just about nicked it, but that could not do the job. The US nick it right at the death, 3-0. So far, so good for them.
So far, so good. Those matches are incredibly close, and it's anyone's game. But
yeah,
it's just
but US is showing they're slightly over the edge, and that slightly over the edge was enough. But because look at this, Idki and Happy Stick absolutely carrying USA in this case. Either of these two being out of the match for this, USA would have lost it completely, I'd say.
Yeah, it's just when they needed it most. Happy Stick and Idki coming up trumps. And Xavius also had a pretty major combo in that. That's the second, well, the last third rather, which just about pushed them over the line. Just the little things, man. That's all this one's coming down to. Can it keep being that close though? I don't know.
Yeah, the thing is, it is a 3-0 currently, which is looking extremely dominant for the United States. But if you look at it closely, as we just saw, the matches are a lot closer than just a 3-0, right? And so it can pretty much swing either team's favor pretty soon. So I don't think the US is definitely happy with having the 3-point lead, which is huge currently because they're winning the uncontested picks. They still have Hard Rock left and things like that to maybe win on, but the Chinese side is gonna have to step up. They lost their Daotan pick and they need to gain some ground. They need some points, and I think they need them pretty fast. So free mod, some safe free mods might be a good choice right now.
Yeah, I'm with you on that
Yeah.
one.
Free mods were very much in China's game, and China needs to find something to bring back their balance. And I think free mod is a very good start for that.
That's where they've made it happen. That's where their bread and butter is. So surely we'll see Hurtful Pain once again. If not now, we will see it at some point, because that is a pick where they have been historically dominant on.
Indeed, and Mad Machine is also looking pretty good for them. But then again, on Hurting for Pain, that EZFG map, Happy Stick picked Hidden on it and was performed really well. Yeah, it's gonna be Mad Machine. I believe that's a way safer pick, despite it being so completely different to anything in the map pool. Once again, we will see the repeat of last time's events, 200s in both teams, and hopefully a carry by the Chinese side from RDXC and some decent combos all around from the rest.
All in all, if someone gets an A rank, it's a high accuracy, because the average accuracy on this is 85% on this 270 BPM death streamy pick. We do see China winning regularly on this, but it's always by a tiny amount. I do feel like it's only just in their favour, and it could tilt if the United States get one player that can maybe just get lucky on those sliders in that death stream bit, because those sliders tend to be where the majority of breaks happen. Some people can mash through those streams, but getting those sliders at the same time is the more difficult part in this one, in my opinion.
Yeah, but this is one of the maps that really tests the player's mentality, because like there's so many little parts where even the slightest misclick or movement can make a difference. Like you said, on the sliders, repeat sliders, where you're supposed to build the combo. And China here being down 3 points, I'm not sure if they are calm enough to efficiently play on this one. But if they picked it, they have something up their sleeves, and we're gonna have to see.
I bet RZXC's been mashing streams in warm-up ready for this. Tatari is going to be always ready for this. He's always ready when it comes to tournaments. No way is he going to let this one slip by. But all eyes on those speed players, all eyes on RZXC, on MLaw, to make it happen on this.
China is favored to win this, but then again, they were favored to win the double time too. And the United States has proven us that they can win on the Chinese picks.
Yep, United States certainly showing that they've got potential on this front. And also that they got 3 offensive points now, meaning China has to really work for it with the defensive points.
Actually, we're seeing Dsan come in for this one, whereas they had Spring Lane in that place when they played it in the first match.
Ah, yes, very good observation.
Spring Lane only had 190,000 points compared to GGVY's 300, RDXC's around 400, and also Tutorial's around 300 to 400 points. Decent might perform better on it than Spring Lane.
Here's the stream. Last remaining FC is Xarius. GGBY had it then, but then broke at the end. RZXC bring his combo back as well as Tatari after breaking at the start. But it's going to be Xarius who holds a full combo through that section. Okay.
Are you serious? Getting a full combo is huge. If he gets 700,000 points from the full combo alone, doesn't matter.
That is insane. Oh my god. He's gonna outright the Xarius. Sorry, he's gonna outright the accuracy bonus with that combo.
Yeah, actually, he's the highest accuracy next to having the highest combo, and that's gonna be around 800,000 points. That's the nail in the coffin for this pick.
Oh, it keep breaking there, but so did Dsan. I think that is going to be it.
But Xarius is gonna take it. Yeah, it should be, and it is.
Wait.
No,
wait a second.
This
it is
so
actually
close.
China taking this.
This is 14,000 points, with China having a slight edge over Team USA. Xarius with, oh my god, with the full combo. Holy.
Oh,
That
that was
ending.
a complete blunder from me. Completely forgetting that 3 decent enough combos like 500 are enough to beat one full combo, especially if your teammates aren't really racking up those combos.
Can you believe
Yeah.
that though? It looked
USA
like it
is
was going to
just-
be the US's, dude.
USA is just not
Yeah.
enough to support Xerius, but yeah, once again, now it's back to USA's pick, and I think USA still has some momentum, but China having just clinched that one, they're definitely going to have to work better in order to bring up the next point.
Yeah. Look, I said if Xerius gets 800,000 points with his SC, he's gonna win. Well, he only got 780,000. If he had those 20,000, it would have been enough. That's my excuse.
Well, it's true. Just got to point out though, the last 3 maps, the score difference 6,000, 4,000, 14,000. That is some incredibly consistent close matches. It is absolutely neck and neck. Can't
A
believe how
complete
close it is right now.
difference, like such a contrast to last match, even though it's only 10
Yeah.
minutes apart.
Something
It is
has
just a
happened.
complete-
Something definitely happened.
Yeah, man, I don't know, everyone. Did you take some strategy towards United States side, or I don't know, man. This is
I
looking weird.
don't
And
think
dopamine,
so.
are you serious?
We're gonna go for dopamine. Oh my god! Another thing we haven't seen yet, but USA has not played this map against South Korea. They chose Helix over dopamine according to Toy after the match, because I think they were fearing for the end. The ending of this map is absolutely hell. There's a 4+4+4+4+4 stream section. 5 sets of 4 node streams on 200 BPM on this map. In such a way, so placed separately, that forces you to look out for every single node. If you miss out even one set, it's pretty much game over. So that's very high fail potential, and basically whoever gets the highest pass at the end will win this. And I think USA picking this has pretty good confidence with whoever they're putting up there for the passes. Totally saying, oh Fanjin, F you. Fanjin being the mapper, a very good mapper, but his style is just considered so unorthodox to some players, but very fun to play nonetheless.
I was sort of thinking to myself, would we see dopamine? And I was thinking, no, we won't. I mean, both teams were playing pretty safe in the first round, but this round, not at all. We've seen Helix, we've seen Mad Machine once again, and we are seeing dopamine. They are going all out on this with some incredibly risky picks. As you were saying, this map is incredibly volatile. The ending is very easily failable. Both times we've seen this map up until now, the majority of the room failed the ending, which is insane. Safe to say, this pick is the least safe pick you could even possibly imagine. And you missed to pick this is incredibly brave.
Look, I think United States just has stopped caring. I just believe they stopped caring.
I think USA should think outside the conventional lines to do this. I think that's what they realized too, and also that they do have a lead 3-1. So I mean, they can be a little more risky here. It doesn't hurt them.
But this is how they got their lead, by being extremely risky. They picked maps they didn't.
Yeah, they're very opportunistic for this match, and I like that. I like opportunistic teams because that speaks a lot more about them than about anything else.
Just think about it. They started with Helix, which is almost on the same level of being a coin toss as dopamine. It's so easy to miss on it, but it's possible. It's possible that one guy can get a full combo, a really high combo, and that's enough to carry the team. But like dopamine, I mean, that's just the essence of a coin flip, and I think the coin flip, currently the Lady Luck, is on the side of the United States.
I guess we'll see about that one. This one, you can't predict it. It's going to go either way. You can see Satori getting a good combo in the middle. You can see people like Toy doing well on it. Of course, on this kind of strange pick is where Toy shines when it comes to reading. But you can't really facilitate for that ending. It's all going to come down to who passes and who doesn't. That's the long and short of this one, really.
Indeed, and I hope though that all of these players actually prepared for the ending of this map, which is you can spam over it and pass it that way. But I think most of these players gonna want to go for the accuracy stream, which is a lot more risky because that's where you say people just miscalculating and mistiming by 1 second and then completely failing the entire stream. So I think the best strategy is just to spam over it. Just stream as much as you can. Just stream like 250 BPM over the 200 BPM streams and get
Yeah,
the
just
pass.
overstream it for the sake of passing.
Doesn't matter.
It's about survival at the end.
Well, the thing is, though, if you did that, you'd get note locked, which I guess is something people are fearing, I guess.
Well, the OD is decently high enough, so it is possible to just spam over it and do it that way. But I don't think most of these people are used to spamming at all. You know, that's a high-level strategy by just a few key players.
Well, whatever works, you know, you take the path of least resistance.
This is definitely not the path of least resistance. I mean, this match is
this early
full of
part
obstacles.
will definitely break a lot of combos. Totally, it will be the only one holding a good combo though. And we do go into a later part of the map, which is like a little bit more jumpy before we arrive at the final streamer section.
I know it's early going, but look at Totori's accuracy. 99% in that section is insane again. He breaks at that 1/3, but you gotta hand it to him.
As a side info coming in from Efren actually on yesterday, Totori had a wrong offset the last time he played this. Now he's finally playing with the right one, so he's gonna perform a little bit better in terms of accuracy and combo, hopefully.
Ah, yes. It's the one for me, but I'll let you have it.
Trying to nick the lead back.
Yeah.
It was in the US's favor there, but
And
sorry,
of
that combo.
course, this is going to be very close at the end though. We're still looking at the 4+4 stream and thinking like, who will pass this? That's still the $1 million question. If you don't pass, your score won't matter.
Yeah, we're approaching it now. The score's flickering back and forth. Breaks left, right, and center. We expected this on a difficult map, but here comes that ending stream. Let's see what happens.
Oh, and we do see fails, 3 fails coming from Totoki, Xarius, and Idki. The bet did not work out for United States. They're gonna lose this. However, noteworthy is that Xarius and Idki combined may have taken China. Will it? Yeah, I think it would.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and but of course, with 3 fails, and that's gonna go over to China.
Yeah, this time, no major collapse. We saw 5 fails the last 2 times we saw this map. You only see 3 fails here, only 3.
Only 3, yeah. I mean, this is already above average from what we can expect. This is a very, very risky pick. And wow, I was so tense up even though I'm just commentating this. Like, I can't even imagine what must be going through the players' minds.
Yeah, seems
Yeah,
like
of course, press F to pay tribute to the fallen players.
Oh yeah, press F to pay respects in this case, unfortunately. But that's just China. I don't know, man. The United States, the pact with the devil, seems to only go this far. They're starting to lose it just a little bit. But now all the coin tosses are out of the way, and now we're gonna get back to the, I guess you could say, more standard picks, which both teams prepare for and actually expected. And in this case, it is looking good for China because they did win 7-2 on those picks. I mean, given we gotta mention this again, that the United States did win on 2 of those 7 picks China won, but we still have 5 left, right? And that's enough to win the entire Grand Finals currently.
Well, the main thing is really after that early momentum that the US got after winning those incredibly close matches, trying to bring themselves back to this point was paramount. If letting the US run away after losing so many close matches, it's pretty demoralizing. So at the very least now, that momentum has been stemmed, and China can get right back at it with this pick that they are mulling over right now.
Yeah, I think they may go for Hurtful Pain simply because that they've shown to be good on that kind of map, and the United States probably really isn't going to be able to bring up Toy for that, considering his setup. I think right now it restricts his aim ability mostly. We do see the top 2 players switching out, Totoki and I think that was Green Lane. Yep, those 2. I think they already got the picks coming up.
Yeah, Alexi and Springlane coming in probably. Totori and Decent staying in.
Yep.
The Nomads for
So
the
looks
Hurtful Pain.
like the Hurtful Pain roster to me.
If not, then they would really surprise me.
Maybe Gimme Chocolate could be a yell.
Oh, no, it's Crystal.
So, yeah,
Wait,
Crystal come in, so it's not going to be Gimme Chocolate.
Is Matsumoto then?
No.
Oh no, it's gonna be Easy FG. It's gonna be the Hurtful Pain and Matsumoto. Interesting. They're gonna go for a different roster this time.
I like this. I definitely like this. I mean, I did mention that Crystal. This is Crystal's specific skill set.
Oh, Matsumoto's gonna leave actually.
Yeah, I don't
Crystal
think
definitely is gonna be interesting for this. And Fiery Rage, I think is the one coming in. I wasn't paying too much attention to USA right there, but I think he's the added one in here, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. I don't know who's gonna pick him out because we did see RDXC and Spring Lane both go for the Hard Rock and did end up being the sacrificial lambs of around 200 to 300,000 points. Sometimes when they get lucky 400,000 points, but pretty much decent all around. But Crystal coming in, decent was next to Tutori one of the Nomad guys. Crystal is also, I believe, someone who would prefer Nomad, but I think he's gonna try and hidden this.
Oh.
Might be better than Alexi on the
Oh, and also I have some interesting bits to add. The previous map, Dopamine, was mapped by Fanjin, as we mentioned. Fanjin right now is paying attention over to a Chinese transcast. And he earlier in the beginning of the grand final stage, he said like, "Oh my God, why is my map being picked? This is gonna be awful." And the first instant he saw players failing in the USA versus South Korea match, he bursted into laughter, LOL. And this is feeling so good looking at players fail on my map. And this map just now, he's like, I don't care who wins, just fail as many players as we can. However many, I'm gonna be happy, LOL. That's exactly what he said.
Just evil.
This guy,
Absolutely
man. Yeah, but I mean, so long as he's happy, right?
Doomsday, what do you expect? I mean, did you look at his maps? He definitely hates players. I mean, just look at it.
Yeah, like, this is not player friendly. Well, Dopamine is not player friendly.
He's like the modern
Yeah.
Angel Honey, really.
But here we go into Hurting for a Very Hurtful Pain. China's bread and butter pick in the past. We'll see if they can do it again here.
Yeah, this is easy FG, but most certainly not easy FC. So it's going to be China a chance to prove themselves once again. And USA chance to come back. First break, however, goes to Happy Stick. Fairy Rage following up immediately. Not really too much of a deal yet, because this is after a very kind of a long map. And Happy Stick is running on hidden, so you gotta take that into account as well. And this is 140 BPM if I recall correctly, so not really that high in BPM. However, with the style of mapping and the requirement of your absolutely ridiculous just aim ability, it's gonna be hard for some players, even on the top level, to perform consistently on here. And we do see that USA actually edging accuracy lead right now.
Yeah, despite Crystal being really good at alternating, this map is just a handful on hidden, and you can see that Happy Stick and Crystal currently are struggling with the combo, but then again, if you look at Hardrock in general, people are also struggling on Spring Lane side. But Itsuki, damn, Itsuki is holding strong, and the only one holding strong.
Yeah, it is running at 95%. Hard Rock FC, very, very good, I'd say. Hard Rock isn't something that you can just pull out of your pocket and say, okay, I'm gonna play this. It requires ages of practice in order to master it. And on this map, I guess I would say it's easier than Hidden, but it really depends on the player. And here we go, we arrive at the break section. I can't really make out what Yuki is writing. Maybe someone can tell me that. It's a little blurry on my screen.
It's coming down to Tatori versus Idki. Idki with that Hard Rock's going to have a tricky time though, but so far so good for him. Decent has a nice combo as well. This bit's, well, our bit was fairly easy compared to the rest. Some time for Idki and Tatori to gather some score, but I'm interested to see how some of the really nasty single tap streams will fare on Idki's side.
Yeah, but lead is very small though. USA just right. Oh, actually, no way. It's still cheating right back. What the hell is going on my screen right now?
This is completely up to Tutor and D-Set. They're in the driving seat, and they need to keep the combo for the rest of the map.
Yeah, it's looking like Tatori is once again dominating this map. He's been really good on this in the past, and he's showing.
Yeah, this is very
But
much
that's
his
no
playing
slouch.
field.
The accuracy as well. Another 99 on a weird map. He can accuracy these strange maps, no problem at all.
And that's going to be 3-0. China edging back to basically we're starting off the match again with the best of 7. No, 9. Best of 9. Wait, 7. Ah, damn my.
Yeah, best of 7 was correct.
Yeah, and somehow I thought there was like one more star in this thing. I was like, what? Yeah, but now it's back to USA's pick. Losing 3 straight points. I can imagine USA not feeling so well. They were feeling very confident, I can imagine, 3 points ago with 3-0 lead, but totally there, definitely carry China to a very strong and defining win.
There we go. Apologies for the images there, but it is 3-3 all square. Brilliant run from Tatori there, but once again, that is the kind of thing you expect from him.
There was some like very weird thing happening with the connection, I think. So we apologize if we're spoiling, but bear with us. We're trying to make this work as well.
US wasting no time to get in the next pick. Suki Toro coming out of them again, that hard rock pick.
Yeah, so in this case, they are finally going for a pick which they are feeling quite comfortable on, and they did win previously and showed really good performances all around.
Yeah, although,
So I think it's gonna happen again.
Although it's very much noteworthy that previous time it was very close. So if not careful with it, they could very much make the same situation happen or even lose the point to China. So yeah, definitely something for them to chew on right now, because I don't think USA would want to lose this point, not at all. That's why they're bringing up Toy.
But one thing in this entire situation we're in is that I think it's looking really good for the Team USA, because last time around they did not win one of the contestable picks, and they did win some of the contestable picks right now, which is pretty interesting. They still have the rest of the map to play, but it's looking really good for the Team US in terms of the remaining picks. But then again, China is gonna be there to hopefully have that same legendary performance as last time around. Just getting 2 seasonally created, something like that is just absolutely insane. And it's definitely gonna secure a win for the map.
Apparently D-Sun's having some connection issues, I have to kick D-Sun out.
We were saying when this first appeared that this one was a US favourite pick by quite a bit. They did alright on it last time, but I wonder now that they're really bedded into this match, if they can really buff that. I think they'll, again, be looking really good on this. I'd have to give the edge to the US, but China have had that bed in time as well. GGBY and RTXC coming in for this hard rock pick. We saw RTXC do excellent on this in the past. It's just to see how this one goes, because this consistency pick really, or you benefit from this when you're comfortable, when you're settled, when you're calm. And I think at this point, yes, the match is close, but at this point, they've had plenty of matches in this final, and they are bedded in and ready to go. So I think we'll see some really good scores on this.
But then again, if you think about it, the United States might be feeling really good, performing really well and feeling really good because of one thing. We did see sometimes the momentum swing into a team's favor quite a lot. If you think back to last week where China won against Germany, they did look a little bit shaky, let's be honest. They did not look like a top 2 team. You would rather expect someone like South Korea being in the grand finals right now. But after the win against Germany, they played immediately after against the UK, and then South Korea on the next day, and they did look a lot better on those matches, which was kind of a momentum swing. The United States is maybe slowly waking up or falling asleep depending on how they're feeling, because it is currently, I think, around 1 AM or midnight for the US.
It's 1 AM in the East Coast, but I think most of the players here, I know Toy is in Tokyo, what am I saying? Happy Stick at least is in California, so West Coast. Right now for us in the West Coast is 10:30 PM.
All right, so we do have some decently late times. Currently, it is the weekend, thankfully, but sometimes these players might get tired. But just looking at the previous maps, I think they're really hyped up currently and are feeling it.
The difficulty in this map is very localized, pretty much coming down to the Ki jumps just before choruses. Up to that point, though, it's all about just holding your nerves and keeping calm.
Yeah, so for those who do not know, actually, Happy Stick had like a 24-hour stream, I think like last week, and where he just absolutely dominated with Hard Rock. I think it was like his way of doing special training with Hard Rock, and he has improved. So I'm looking at him thinking this is probably his time to shine again.
I mean, he had plenty times to shine, and he did take them and showed you that he's definitely a player deserving to be in the owc Grand Finals in this team of USA.
Like before, when he first got the flag change, there were some voices doubting his credential simply because he hasn't shown up enough in tournaments, community tournaments. But this time, playing for Team USA, Happy Stick certainly is a player you cannot not have for this stage. Every single player on the USA roster is a must in order to get to here and to go further if they want to.
Well, let's not forget the other members like Fire Rage, who had one of the
yes,
highest
of
combos
course.
last time.
Not to take anything away from
these
these players. And they have to overtaken accuracy now.
Ooh, everyone got that jump section right there. No breaks at that first difficult section.
There's still gonna be a huge jump part coming up after the key item where it's most intense. It's a little bit short for the first time around. The second one is gonna be a lot harder, but we already see a miss by Matsumoto to the right.
Yeah, with full combo still ongoing for USA, this is looking very much in their favor now. Time for them to take the driving seat and go expand the lead.
It's looking a lot better for China this time around, but then again, any miss from the US currently might drop down the combo quite a lot.
Oh, GGPY though, 2 FCs to 4 now. Looking really good for the US now. A little bit more of the more basic patterns of the map to extend the lead a bit more. Next jump section is coming up in just a moment though.
And RX actually missing there as well, so meaning 3 full combos gone on Chinese side, only 1 more remaining on the United States.
Happy Stick and Itsuki currently still looking phenomenally. Oh, but then again, Happy Stick is gonna miss, so this is gonna reduce the full combos to just 1 each.
Oh, but then, just to say that, the last full combo for China is gone. It's just Idki to carry the US team right now.
The new guy, the new student, but the star of the class right now. He's definitely what USA needs for this pick. Of course, every single one of them. I don't mean, sorry, no offense to other players, but Idki right now is your turn to shine. And just dominating with that stream. Trying to be politically correct and also commentate at the same time is very hard.
I mean, we can all agree that Itki's performance currently is absolutely phenomenal, but can he keep the full combo? This seems to be in United States bag. No surprise there, it was to be expected, and they performed once again. But is Itki gonna FC is gonna be the question.
Yeah, and actually looking at Matsumoto Risa, I think thinking, why is he coming up for this pick? Not just to say like doubling his credential, but I think this may be a chance to give another player a chance to take a breather.
Getting the end jumps now.
Oh, some of the hardest jumps off the entire map.
Oh, and if he will finish up with a full combo?
I think he might, you know.
Yeah, he's gone with the hard section already. Like, this is his chance to just like take over and completely just hoard the spotlight to himself.
So the combos were coming back pretty well on the Chinese side. RXC had a really good combo. Matsumoto Rai is doing well, but you just can't keep up with this Idki combo Showing
What is
up
this ETH
strong,
key
wow.
guy? What is this ETH key guy with a full combo on this song? Very amazing. 39 100s, but that accuracy is still very good. And also, actually, across the board, everyone holding good accuracy on the US side. And accuracy better than China. So one both on combo and accuracy, very dominating. And yeah, so now it's China's turn to pick.
That was pretty good from the United States, but it was to be expected. That was one of their pocket picks, one of their safer picks of just hard rock, but it's key performing quite well. That's what fresh blood is gonna bring you to the table. Like if you're getting used to old titans and you ignore fresh blood, then you might oversee someone like Yitzki, and that would be really unfortunate. But thankfully, Toy, being the great cap that he is, did notice the potential in Yitzki and is gonna pick him. And no, I think all of the critics should have been silent by now.
Oh, if there's any critics still speaking out against ETH, come forward, let me bash your head in. I'm just kidding. Yeah, I mean, like, so far you've seen a very good player that's also very new, and that's exactly what's scary about Team USA. They're constantly pumping out new blood, just circulating back into the system for them to, of course, strengthen the roster every single year in OWC. And if they keep doing this, they're gonna maintain the hegemony in O's for the foreseeable future. And that's exactly the kind of thing that happened with Korea for the early 2010 era.
Yeah, we did see quite a bit of Korean dominance in the earlier World Cups. But now we do see other teams like China and the United States in this year and last year around, and it's looking pretty good. Who knows how far the United States is gonna get in the future, because United States and China have a really huge player base. Thankfully, all the Chinese players plus some of the provinces near them, like Taiwanese or Taiwan or just Hong Kong. Thankfully, those aren't counted in one team. Otherwise, they would be pretty much one of the strongest teams in the entirety of O's. Like if that would be a possibility to combine all these Chinese-speaking countries, it would just be absolutely disgusting.
What's next for China, though? What could they poke at? Miracle Sympho is on the table. Could see a base drop Freaks. I feel like that might be a good shout at this point.
They did have a very good run with base drop Freaks. And what else is good? Oh, actually, they're going for base drop. Never mind. Doomsday called it.
Yeah, the other ones might have been too risky. Like the creator did rely on the fourth player 2FC on the second one, which I don't think is gonna happen again. Also, Roswell FCs. 2FCs very unlikely. Base drop Freaks seems a bit safer, because the United States seems a little bit inconsistent on this one. But then again, they did perform extremely well one time, and then pretty decent on the other one, which was the last best of 13. Let's see if they can perhaps average that out and get a better score.
I think they could definitely do it. They did it in the past. They did it against Korea. USA pulling out a brilliant performance against them. I think the round when they played this earlier in the day, it was just a blip. They had a couple of cheap misses which pushed them back. Now, with them being a bit more comfortable, I imagine, I think they'll have a stronger performance.
Can we take a moment to look at the average scores of both these teams?
Oh,
Yeah.
pretty close.
Yeah, 619,000 points for China and 621,000 for the US. So in theory, like if you look at the stats, US is looking to be favored in this one, but this is an average. So the important part is that the first time they played this, the US had a huge average on this one, but the second time they played ago, they didn't look too hot on it, so that brought their average down, and that's currently the level they're at. They need to improve that level. I don't know if they can actually get to their peak, which they had 2 weeks ago, but it's gonna be tough.
Well, here we go.
So yeah, no mod pick, base drop Freaks. We do have two Nanahira songs. Actually, the one just being played also is Nanahira.
Oh, it looks like they actually swapped out Emlaw, who played this last time, for Toy. Emlaw actually failed out at the end, so
Yeah, probably a
change.
better pick. Like they certainly show that they got some thoughts down into this this roster here for this pick.
Same lineup for China.
And like with every other map, we do see early part dominated by accuracy. So decided by accuracy, decides who to lead. And I will say that noteworthy is we do have Fiery Rage, who is a mouse player actually. So for those mouse players out there, he is your next idol, very much likely. Actually, a lot more breaks happening here in the earlier parts than compared to last time we've seen this map. Alright, now it's down to two full combos. Iki versus Rust Bell, or Totally. Let's just call him Totally for now. But Fiery Rage recovering from his very early break with a 500 plus combo now. Very good and very dominating actually, thanks to him. And Iki combined, USD will gonna pull forward for this first quarter of the map.
And we do see some huge combos coming out of specific players currently. Fire Rage and Itsuki, the two guys who got over 800,000 points the first time around. Maybe they're looking to repeat that performance. But once again, it's easy in theory, but hard in practice really.
Just edged ahead, not a lot in it at the moment. Idki once again showing up with his full combo at this point in the map, hitting this breakdown section. Tatari doing the same for the Chinese side, but the other combos in the US are dominant right now. Accuracy is on the whole much better too.
The accuracy is absolutely phenomenal from Rustbell. But he's going to drop a bit of accuracy there. But then again, I mean, yeah, you said US is in the driving seat. Happy Stick did miss. Oh, that actually completely missed my mind. But I don't know. There's so many missed potentials. I don't think it's set in stone yet.
The spit's one of the lower parts. Some 3 points for those combos. US going to be pulling a little bit further ahead. Going to be looking good because by the time the difficulty hits, they're going to be about 300k in the lead. It's pretty major. Idki still holding strong. Look at Tatori's accuracy though. Brilliant run by him. But at the moment, it's Fiery Rage and Toys outsider combos that are nicking it right now.
Yeah, but since there are so many missed potentials, if, for example, the entire Chinese side would miss on some of the upcoming streams, but USA would keep... Oh,
he broke on the slow bit. That's why I mentioned it. It's like, what? And Fiery Rage as well. Hello. That's going to tilt things a bit.
Yeah, it's starting to look really bad for USA, but then again, everyone is missing except for Tori and Itsuki. And decent.
Trying to have Desan, but is that going to be enough to take it back? There's quite a bit of the song to go, maybe just about, but I think we still need a bit more from the US right now.
The decent might be a really big factor in this case, but I think it's gonna be more about if Teotori or Itsuki are gonna have C, because we haven't seen C's here. We saw a bunch of really high combos like this one, but the misses are gonna come in pretty soon, because this is the hardest part of the entire map coming in.
Oh yeah,
and the combos are gonna drop, and who of the Titan combos of Tutorial and Itsuki are gonna hold it? That's gonna be the big question.
And here we go.
And I believe Itsuki has won the battle against Tutorial. Tori missing.
Yeah, Tutorial has fallen. The Titan of China has
that
fallen.
means it's pretty much go back to guys is with pretty much no doubt to it.
All in all, though, it did look like a pretty comfortable win for the US by over 200k. Relatively comfortable, considering some of the maps we've had earlier on. Idki didn't quite get the full combo, but he did the job. And he's going to be 5-3 to the US. They're pulling away.
Yeah, it was a little bit closer than it should have been. Toy got a uncharacteristic miss in the slow part. That should have been a little bit more points for the United States to get a bit of a lead. But no, Itki rivaling Tutori in that case, and that's plenty.
Yeah, and United States actually going for a quick pick. They probably have thought about this while they were playing. Toy, not even thinking twice, going for Miracle Simple. The Fremont pick we didn't get. Did we get to see it? No, we didn't get to see it last match.
China, when they played this previously, did extremely well on it. I believe we saw a map with 3-4 combos, if I recall. Certainly close to it.
Yeah, we did see Tutori FC this one every single time, or almost every single time, getting over 1 million points, that's for sure. But the Chinese team did look pretty good on it. In terms of combos, we didn't see the United States play this yet, but if you think about it, this map, while the Chinese team did look good on it in terms of combos and scores in general, having an average of 700,000 points, which is, for the Grand Finals pool, really good. But you gotta have to take this into consideration. Miracle Sympho X is one of the calmer, more normal picks, let's put it that way, for players to really play. We did see a bunch of interesting picks as Dopamine and Helix, and I mean just the last one, Base Stroke Freaks, that's really chaotic. This one is a lot calmer, has 2 speed ups, which aren't too difficult to follow, but it's more in the line of the normal standard maps you can see nowadays. That's why you see more and higher scores in general on this map. But the twist on this one is that it is free mod. And Doomsday, what are the free mod rules?
Well, basically, both teams have to have at least 2 people picking a mod, either hidden or hard rock. And at the moment, we're seeing the bare minimum from both teams: a hard rock on Artex C, D7 with hidden, Idki hard rock toy with hidden, and Artex C and Idki with their hard rocks. If they can hold on, that score advantage, which is higher than hidden, is going to be a major factor if they can pull it off. But this map is actually much more difficult with hard rock than it is with hidden, even comparatively with the score multiplier advantage.
Of course, this map is also considerably easier for the top players on their level. And it's all up to like who's gonna break, that's the question, like with many other maps.
Indeed, and yeah, Doomsday, that was a really good call, saying that hard rock does have the higher score multiplier. So if you're full combo and SS with hard rock, you're gonna have more points than with hidden, and that's pretty much the fact. But hidden is gonna make the speed up a little bit tricky, but hard rock is just making this all around more difficult. So in that case, it's a risk versus reward kind of thing. But I'd personally say that the US is going to be favored just a little bit, because this is a consistency pick, and the US has shown better performances on consistency picks, which don't really have too many weird elements in it.
Yeah, a lot of it just basically comes down to a couple of speed up sections, like where like machine gun, that's what I call it, machine gun sections. And we're gonna see a break from Troy actually, right before we hit this machine gun section.
This might be one of the reasons why they were trying to not pick this map in the last best of 13 when the bracket reset happened. Because Toy is on a different setup, he might not feeling too well in terms of jumps, and this one is pretty much just keeping jumps and a bit of streaming here and there. And maybe it's really hurting him currently.
All the comboing players, actually all the players, got past that section without combo breaking, so still pretty square. China with a mild combo advantage, but it looks like the US actually has the accuracy advantage.
Yeah, accuracy is very important in V2, score V2. So it speaks out especially here. Although US is falling behind on combo, they're gonna try to maintain flow a little longer. But as we just talked about now, China does take over with the lead. And of course, Xerius, Idki combined with Happy Sake are gonna try to make time for Toy to come back and recover.
we're pretty much just halfway through the map and the combos are still holding strong, but I think this is gonna be the point where we will slowly see the nerfs kicking in terms of combo breaks.
Coming into the next machine gun section in a moment, where we may see some breaks.
Yeah, this is a long-winded speed up, which does take a little bit.
Here we go, winding up for it now.
Machine gun.
And scoreboard shown to the player. Let's see if they can hold the nerves and the combo. Oh, he's gonna be the first one to break. And
yeah,
Toy immediately following. GGBY also breaks.
And RTXC,
oh
that's
not looking
huge.
good. That's huge. That's all the combos except for totally for China. Meanwhile, USA still has 3 full combos. Toy being the ones to break doesn't matter though, because US is gonna take this chance to just pull ahead up to the very end.
Yep, there's barely anything left in it, and those 3 full combos are really racking up that score advantage now. This one is US's. This is the US match point. It looked like China could have nicked that, and they were looking really strong early on, but that speed up section decimated them all apart from Tatari, who is still holding on with his no mod. But alas, that's how it goes. Going to see a full combo from Idkey once again with Hard Rock on this map. This is an incredibly difficult map to full combo with Hard Rock. That is another amazing play.
Definitely. Although the top score does go to Rust Bell, but across the board, 3 US AFCs. That is also very, very incredible on this map. And I think just shows that USA's got past their nerves. They're like, we're in the driving seat now. Where are we caring? But China is down at their last hope. Like, this is 6-3, the match point situation. They have to come back 4 points in a row. Can they make this happen? Let's wait and find out. China, your turn to pick.
I mean, they if anything, through this tournament, they've proved they can come back. After losing to the US in the winners bracket, the way they dealt with that losers bracket showed they can come back from a large deficit. And safe to say, with their pick in hand, they have every opportunity to. Granted, they are running out of maps. Like, what's left at this point? Let's have a look.
What's left are gonna be picks where China got, I believe, a little bit lucky. For example, the Creator is one of them where they got double FCs. I don't know if they can really repeat that performance. It's gonna be tough.
They're looking pretty down the line with the mentality also. This is not where I want to go for something so close and so risky. Perhaps something more like more to their level of comfort would be better. But what is left? I mean, oh, the Silent Voyage is still up, isn't it?
Actually, you should probably quickly point out about Tatari with that FC on Miracle Sympho. He's FC that map every single time it's appeared now, I believe.
Yeah, he's very consistent. Like, no questions asked.
Yeah, we might see Hidden, but Nomad, I think it's gonna be the Approach 8 Nomad. The Approach 8 Hidden, I'm sorry. Nomad, I don't think it's gonna be a good avenue to attack currently. It was a little bit too risky. I don't think WFC on the crate is gonna be a thing. And on the Give Me Chocolate map, they were underperforming a little bit, while Xeris got a really good combo. I think it's gonna be the Approach 8 Hidden to maybe seal the deal, or the Catalog map. They did look pretty good on it.
Really giving it a think, and they really should. It's such an important pick for them.
Are you ready? Machine gun.
But I'm thinking Hidden is going to be the order of the day. Tatari is playing extremely well. I almost feel like if Silent Voyage was to appear, he could definitely do the business again.
Yeah, Silent Voyage was not touched. Sorry, Hidden Picks were not touched. I don't think so.
They
were chocolate.
Both of the. Oh wait, what? Really? Okay.
Yeah, black chocolate.
I mean, if Team China is feeling more confident on those streams and the jumps, I'm gonna give the benefit of the doubt to them. But this was looking really good for the United States last time around because of Xeris' really good combo. But perhaps they thinking the same thing As in, well, we might not have the WFC on the creator, but you might not have the high combo from Exarius in here.
This one is one that can go either way. That stream in the middle is one that not many people, if any, can do super consistently. So China could definitely nick it if they get a good run there. But obviously US won it last time, so it's risky to play into that.
Pressure. It's the other way around. China's feeling the pressure, but China, of course, picking this map, they're probably going for a final run in the game. I mean, there's nothing else to lose. This is the final. The 4 points down the line are all their lifelines.
Yeah, I mentioned that because if they're feeling calm right now, that's going to really help when they hit that stream and keeping their aim stable. And I wonder if that could be a deciding factor, but we'll see how it goes. China rolling the dice on Gimme Chocolate.
Yeah, well, to be fair, even if they went through the hidden pick, they would have to respond to one of the United States picks. And that might be then the sealed deal breaker, really. So maybe they're trying to get these kind of picks out of the way, but I'm gonna say this is a bit favored into US side.
Yeah, accuracy certainly still US's game, but happy sake they're breaking first. I think that's all. GGB also broke, I think.
A bunch of early breaks from the ES side and the one from GGBY, because it's a little bit difficult to sometimes come into a map or get into a map and get used to the speed when coming from a different one. That's just one skill set or one form of skill which is underestimated because you don't see it often. Switching from one mode or one type of map to the next one.
And actually it's being utilized a lot in tournaments to really attack that weakness.
Indeed, some players, for example, are really good at hard rock, but only after playing hard rock only for 1 hour straight. And then they might be good at hard rock, but if they, for example, play a bunch of hidden and no mod and double time before that, they might not perform as well. But damn, this is actually looking really good for China currently because of the early misses.
Spring lane Tatori getting the job done. Idki once again holding strong for his team, but he's the only one. Oh, but there goes Totori, just spring lane left to take on Idki, and Exarius is that combo.
Yeah, Exarius certainly used what Idki and Idki has bought him to recover, which is exactly the kind of team play you want. But meanwhile, on China's side, can the same synergy happen? We're going into the stream section and looking at Idki, they probably know what's going on, and now it's their chance to go attack full mode. No holdbacks.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Again. Not really sure what's going on with him, but Idki, they're still holding strong.
He's doing so well. Idki, the new boy on the block, can win the cup for the United States if he can hold on.
I'm sorry, it's you're not really in the picture anymore. It's Idki is our boy from now on. Oh, do have a break from spring lane Idki. Idki still has a full combo, and then he's taking over for USA right now.
And US take the lead. Look at Idki go! He's holding so strong right now. He's almost FC. Oh no! Oh my goodness!
Oh my god! And GGBY has a good combo. LMLO just breaking there.
This is all about GGBY. It's all about him. If he can keep this combo, this might bring it back for Team China.
GGBY doing the job. Here comes that jump section, and he nails it just fine. But he sees now. He sees he has a chance to take this. How will he react?
Oh, if I were him, I'd be like, I'm up for this. Bring it on! Witness me.
Totori and GGBY slowly getting it back into their favor, and is it gonna be enough? There's plenty of map left. What a miss from Alex, he's not gonna help out at all, because missing is gonna reduce your score.
Looks like China are just about to take it. GGBY still holding really well.
Any accuracy drops from both teams or just misses in general can bring it back into the other team's favor. But it's looking like it's China's win because he's keeping on holding combo to Totori and GGBY.
Final jumps though. And
Yes.
he does the job. Wow.
gets the
Sorry,
job done.
GGBY. Amazing comeback play from those
China
two.
will survive one more point, but now it's back to the USA for picks. So far, we've seen incredibly close games, and my heart is just. I think I'm getting heart attacks. mini heart attacks, but I think the players will definitely resonate with me when I say that these matches are not good for your health. And Toy
Yeah.
returning favor with a hidden pick, Katanov. This is one pick that USA is shown to be extremely good at. However, they did lose it in the previous game, but only because I think it was that their momentum was shattered. But China is in the exact opposite seat.
I mean, that GGBY just holding the combo through the stream, the only one being that. And then holding the combo till the end. Totori backing him up. That was just absolutely huge from both of these guys.
Yes. Sorry guys, I got bugged out a little bit. My client is acting up.
Yeah, I don't think only your client is acting up. Some of these players are just slow, completely performing out of their comfort range. And GGBY once again showed that he is a really good backup player, and in this case actually ended up being one of the carries.
Last time this appeared, it seemed like on the whole, everyone that was involved in it are singing from the same hymn sheet on this one. They know this map. They've been practicing it, both teams. Had some pretty good scores on it. And honestly, I would want to put this towards the United States, but it was so close and it was so back and forth. I can't really predict which way this is going to go. Both teams look strong on it.
Yeah, the US did look pretty good on it, but then again, China just surprised with a Crystal for combo, I believe it was. Or Matsumoto Risa, I believe.
Or like these two players are able to pull up good combos. That's why they were able to edge ahead. But Toy, Toy was surprising last time. I think he is coming into here, picking this, knows exactly what to do.
Indeed, but we had Decent and Xeris holding low combos in general. Maybe they did iron out some flaws, but the other three guys in each team you're gonna have to pay attention to. Matsumoto Risa, Crystal, and Totori on the Chinese side, Toy, Itsuki, and Fire Rage on the Team USA side did get above 1000 combo, and hopefully they can repeat that performance. Maybe Decent and Xeris are gonna step up and remember those paths they missed on.
And of course, this will be USA's final pick, regardless of the outcome. And it's just also very interesting to me because this is how they decide to finish up with their attack, the end of their strategy.
We'll see if this one will be the decider for the United States, or is China going to continue this comeback? Same lineup as before, I believe. Yes, it is.
All right, so both teams same lineup.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
Okay, you scared me for a
Sorry
second.
about that. I thought I misread for a second. Then it's late here. Forgive me.
Yeah, don't worry about it. You for those who do not know, Doomsday and OMG4's my partners here, they are commentating like 5 a.m., 6 a.m. right now. So like this is really late or really early for their comfort. And yeah, just give them your support too. Like they are like the players, very much in the battlefield right now, in the heat of the moment.
I wouldn't be anywhere else. I couldn't miss this match. No way.
Yeah, no way, man. And of course, early lead does go over to the team with the higher accuracy. Surprisingly, it's China's time. Toy does get early miss. Now it's down to Fire Ridge and Yitki. Oh my god, Yitki, what are you, man? You are everywhere, like with all the maps.
Yep, 3 FCs to 2 in the early going, so China has that combo lead.
Oh, and he completely misreads that. That is not the kind of thing you want with your own pick. But Fire Rage there is still holding strong, which is good for USA though. Matsumoto missing a couple more times, not really a problem right now. But as we go on later, they might need him to rack up combo again.
Yeah,
maybe due to a nerf thing. Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah. This is actually one of the easier parts to read, so I'd say as far as this map goes, this is fairly free combo if you practice this, which they have.
Oh yeah, it is definitely very much. Now of course you get the stacks coming in, which is then test your reading. And stack leniency 0, not really the kind of thing you want. for a map pool like this, but it is exactly the thing that tests the player. If you get the stack leniency, zero problem out of hand, which is what we explained, stacks completely overlapping one another with no way to tell how many nodes are underneath unless you memorize, they're going to be a problem if you don't memorize them. But once you do, it's owc2016 level of a hidden pick. Fire Ridge still holding on to a full combo. He's against Crystal and D-Sun. Oh, Crystal does miss there. Whoa, oh, wait a second. So that means actually USA has a combo advantage right now. Toy and Xarius, who although broke early, are going to make made their time to come back. And actually, we're gonna probably see slowly but surely them taking an OTK there. Crystal and Matsumoto all missing.
Yep, it's going to be 1FC to 1. D-San versus Fiery Rage. Xarius bringing it back too.
Yeah, Xarius and Toy at the same time. Oh, Fiery Rage does miss there. A little bit breathing space for D-Sun, but not so much yet. The USA still has a good combo advantage. Xarius is the key to the game right now, and also Toy actually right behind him. So not really my turn to say about any of these players.
Oh, Matsumoto breaks there. He had a minor combo, but because it's so close, anything's going to tilt it. Right now, the US might be looking to seal this right now. It's looking like theirs to win, and with D-San breaking, that has got to be all she wrote. There is nothing left.
Yeah, unless something retarded happens, like everyone failing. But no, I don't think there's anything like that.
No, not a chance. Oh, all the combos, all the big massive combos on the US side are gone, but nevertheless, they are fine. They are on their way to win this match and win the World Cup for a second time in a row. They have successfully defended their title.
Yes, Team USA will win this owc World Cup 2016. I'm so sorry. I was so nervous up to that point. But yes, they are going to be the champion of this year as well. Toy with only 3 100s and 350s. Absolutely amazing. He has recovered from that. And yeah, so this is going to be another very awesome run for USA.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, looking at the start of this tournament during the group stage where they almost lost to the bottom seed of their group, it looked shaky. It looked like this wasn't going to happen. It looked like they were sort of nervous being the defending champs. But look at them now. Look at them now. They have proved those doubters wrong and successfully defended their title. I believe that's actually the only time a champion has successfully defended it other than maybe South Korea?
Other than South Korea, yes, that's right. South Korea won 3 straight times, and afterwards it went over to Japan, and then USA's chance for 15 and 16.
What a performance!
What a performance! Absolutely, like they show that they can recover. And what can you say about a team like that? Like this is gonna be like just a straight hands down champion material team. Yeah, and of course, very good run to the Chinese players too. Like they've come so far and tried so hard, but this is one final match that they could not really make it count. However, every single player played their role, and they really did try to make something happen at the end. Totally MVP, although they have lost, but they are not lost without dignity. They are lost with dignity, and United States for, I think, the MVP would definitely go to Itki.
One quick second while you are doing that, I just want to say one thing before everyone disappears. I think we will be having one more exhibition map. As per customary for other World Cups, I believe everyone will be playing Tiebreaker.
It looks like it, yeah. Okay, so what we do, we're going to wrap up with the most hype map of the pool, of course. We'll wait for everyone to get back in though. I think everyone just ejected from the room.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that as well.
I think the room closed down a little bit too fast, like everyone just exited.
Yeah, they were happy.
Can we bring back the players, or are they already offline?
Damn, that was a really good performance by the United States, just in general. They did look shaky, but they got this far with Toys actually new leadership compared to last year's silver. we do see some new blood, and the new blood is definitely there for the United States to perform. And oh man, it's looking really interesting. I'm gonna be excited to see what's gonna happen next year around.
Okay, so people are getting back in now, moving them back in. You can't have them go without the, the flourish, right?
It's very interesting. I'm playing as China. It's I'm tired of being your teammates. Let me be on the other side.
Fire Rage opting figure for the Chinese side. Good on them. Yeah, it does look like all the players are gonna come back directly, which is good.
Toy is actually getting some congratulatory messages from his parents, which is very sweet. It's very good when your parents are supporting what you do. Wuta. I don't know, like I don't think it's due right now for Wuta. Most people is gonna come back.
Big Black is gonna be the tiebreaker, which is gonna come in.
Big Black's gonna come in, yeah. Or no, image material.
Yeah, sure. We need another Ruchi, just one try a C, almost a C on the image material map.
And I think we're bringing back the players for one last show, which is going to be the tiebreaker map that was due to happen but never happened. Burn this moment into the retina of my eye.
Yeah, we didn't have any tiebreakers for the. How many games did we have? 5? 6 games, I believe. 6.
Yeah, all 6 games we don't have the tiebreaker. They were like just slowly, closely scratched up. Even though we had like a couple of 6-4 games.
Indeed, it is just unfortunately the tiebreaker never really happened. But at least we're gonna see this exhibition match to see how would it have been if those players were actually playing the tiebreaker.
To be honest, on this one, I think it'd be super close. I mean, there's dominant players across the board for both of these teams.
Well, we do have 8 players, but only 2 of which are from China right now. I think they may have all gone offline way too fast.
Yeah, so this is gonna be the tiebreaker exhibition match. The tiebreaker is, as a tiebreaker should be, pretty long, and it's gonna be the decisive point in a tournament match. In this case, it wasn't, unfortunately, because the US did take it before it actually got to the tiebreaker. But this tiebreaker is gonna, as you can already hear, a little bit chaotic in terms of the rhythm. It does have a bunch of streams on 224 BPM, so but the streams are more on the shorter side, so they're rather bursts in second thought. Short little bursts throughout the entire map, which is gonna drain your stamina because it's just consistently throwing you burst after burst. Few repeat sliders to lose some accuracy on, but the second most important thing on this map is the jumps. Like, you do have the burst all around, but then you have the consistently difficult jumps thrown at you. And those jumps thrown at you are gonna tax on your aim stamina quite a bit. And this map is relentless, it doesn't really stop, it just keeps on going, and it gets more intense the further we get into the map.
Yeah, by the end of this, it just is incredibly intense. Lots of fast sliders, lots of really spaced streams with really high BPM. An FC on this would be incredibly impressive. We did see Tatori, who isn't actually playing in this one, actually, but Tatori did actually full combo Chipscape in the warm-ups, which was pretty equally impressive, I'd say. Well, one miss right at the start, but it was close enough, let's be honest.
Indeed, it's pretty much like any other map. When you FC, there's a huge chance that you actually want to win this.
Apparently, actually, I think totally Orosfell was rushing to class. Like, he was like being late for his class and he stayed in, but nonetheless, now that the match is over, I guess they have to find someone else, even though he's a star player.
Oh, okay, that's fair enough then. Studies first, after all.
Yeah, well, I mean, Fire Rage sounds very up for playing for China. He's certainly showing the camaraderie, even though They were opponents up to this very point, but now that the match is over, everyone is back to being friends again.
Yeah, everyone can breathe again.
Yeah, Fire Rage is now trying to make a case for him. Please let me play for China. I want to play for China now.
I mean, Fire Rage didn't leak any documents, so I don't think he really has a need to go to China.
So I wonder if this is the lineup we're gonna do. Why not? Why not have Fire Rage step in? You know. Gotta get this one going. Wrap up in the most dramatic way possible. After a brilliant match, hard fought by two top teams, it's time to wrap things up after an incredible tournament.
Yeah, we're gonna need a little bit of time until we get the fourth player for the Chinese side in. Because we already have three, I mean, Fire Rage is definitely one of them.
Yeah, of course. Fire Rage never a part of America. He's a Chinese guy all along. We knew it. Now he's just exposing himself. Actually, I'm with these guys. Alright, M-Law is certainly very up for it. So let's see, shout out to my boy Toy. What? Okay, he's just memeing. I see.
Yep,
And
yeah,
I
looks
think
like
it's
Fire Rage's.
Very relaxed. Alright. Okay, so we're going into this tiebreaker map. Burn this moment into the retina of my eye. Showcase match commemorating the conclusion of owc2016. I guess well, what can I say right now? This is just it's a very great run so far, and
I guess you could say
actually,
yeah, Grand Finals were pretty good. I guess they're pretty.
That's
pretty
how,
okay.
yeah. I mean, but like, it just occurred to me, everything is over. This is the final map we'll see this year, and this is the final map I'll be commentating this year with you guys. So actually, it makes me feel a little sad. But yeah, the players like, like our time remaining is like these circles just gone like bit by bit, one after another.
But time remaining is like it's like the beat map, the timeline, which is slowly ending its end. You know, slowly but surely, after the commas are increasing, your time is decreasing. Well, yeah, it is gonna be unfortunate, but this is the last exhibition match for the standard World Cup. There are gonna be some other World Cups coming up in the following months of other game modes, but this is gonna be it for the standard one.
We do have the 7 key mania already opening sign up, if I recall correctly.
Yeah,
It's a 7 key mania one. Yeah, indeed.
Alright, here we go into a more intense section of the map. This is one section where the map just starts to really test the player gradually but surely. And as we go in, like the patterns and the intensity will only get only gradually get harder. There's no way of backing out now. We do see a couple breaks coming in. Spring Lane seems to be very unhappy about it. Well, he did just come out from the match and he probably needs some time to adjust his thoughts. But this map is very hard also, so he probably wasn't the kind of player to be picked for this. And meanwhile, Happy Stick, Toy, M-Law, Xarius, I think this is a USA roster if this map were to get picked, because these 4 players are just generally extremely good at this kind of style. We will see a miss from M-Law along with Totoki though. But aside from that, Toy also with a miss. Matsumoto and Xarius only 4 combos remaining.
To be fair, I think Springland is just gonna try to pull a Ming. I mean, I don't think he's really trying, just judging by his unstable rate.
Well, right now it's more about having fun, I think. Like, this is the final show before the year concludes, right?
Yeah, he's going for the lowest accuracy possible.
Fire Rage, what are you saying help for? I'm sorry, I don't get you. You chose to be on their side by yourself. Nobody forced you.
Maybe it's just a hello.
Okay.
With enough creativity, you might think it's hello.
I think that's all the 4 combos anyway. The last 4 combos are gone.
Oh no, wait, Happy Stick has a very good combo. Shall we give it to him? Like, say that's a full combo?
Yeah, sure. We'll just call it a full combo.
Yeah. Okay, for the hype. This is Happy Stick with the only remaining full combo on the field now. Oh, this is all going to be very intense. He's going to carry Team USA against Team China in this very intense final tiebreaker. We do see his teammate Toy and Xarius slowly recovering. On the other side, Toloki and Matsumoto under the lead of a very Chinese player, Fire Rage. He's so Chinese that his name is probably something very cool in Chinese. And we do have Happy Stick still with a full combo. Oh my god, what is this guy? Come on, man. Give it a break, Happy
To
Stick.
be honest, actually, I wouldn't be surprised if Happy Stick would have a good chance on the ending. He's had a couple of full combos on this pretty recently,
Yeah.
actually.
Actually, I remember his stream earlier today. He had a 2200 Hard Rock full combo. And then also on the scoreboard, he has a 5100 Nomad full combo. Oh, sorry, no, 2200, not full combo, 2200 combo before he decides to stop playing.
Look, it's still a full combo. It only starts being a full combo once we start calling it a miss and a
Yeah.
full combo. It's still a full combo. No one saw that miss at all. So we
Okay.
see carrying his
But we
team.
do see a Fire Rage full combo along with a Toloki full combo. Everyone's full comboing.
all the full combos.
All the full combos. You get a full combo, you get a full combo, everyone full combos. And
Fiery Rage. That miss though. That was
Okay.
pretty unfortunate.
oh wait, toy rating we I'm not sure if what ML is F star. We F did it. Interesting.
Oh,
Very interesting use of art. Yeah, very cool. You guys
They
sure
did
did.
do it.
Team USA. They did do it. They did do it.
They did it. They won the thing. They are the champions again for the second time in a row.
Yeah. And
Anyone
what can I
doubted
say?
them before?
Nobody really doubted them. I think like the final matches were so close that it could go any way. Just happened to swing over to USA side, but of course not without the help of all the players on USA side. That's how the matches are decided for OWC. A very cruel, but at the same time very fulfilling place for the players to gather to celebrate our community and culture.
But looking at this, United States is gonna seem to want to take the exhibition match as well. But you know, I don't think really the US can take this against the Chinese team, because look at Spring Rain currently. He's holding a low accuracy double S and he's trying to carry his team to victory.
Low accuracy, low combo, double S is definitely the best way to go about doing things.
Pretty sure.
Look, I'm just trying to make Team China and Fire Rage look good.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
and
look at
this
this
is where
Xavious double S.
yeah, this is the intense section. Oh my god, everything is just collapsing.
Well, apart from Fiery Rage and Xarius, you actually FC'd that ending section. That's
Oh
pretty
yeah,
crazy.
he did. With no joke. And Happy Stick, what the hell are you doing with the cursor? That's not how you're supposed to move it.
I mean, at this point, can you blame him? He's probably over the moon.
Yeah, I mean, this is his first OWC champion. Before Happy Stick played for Team Netherlands, which had pretty rough runs up to early stages in the pool. But this year, he showed up with the right team and he showed up strong for it. Also, Matsumoto Rise, I have to also give him honorable mention because he was a team captain for China in last year, 2015. And this year, he saw his team to the very end as well. And I think he's definitely an integral part, and Team China would not have been here without him. And Fire Rage failing at the end. What was that?
I think that was the factor from the Team USA, just being a mole and just trying to drag the Chinese team down. Obviously, if Fire Rage would have passed, it would have been an easy win for China. But no, it must have been that one trader in the team.
yeah.
Clearly, yeah.
All right, and I guess that's all she wrote. And we've gotten our tiebreaker done. We've gotten our entire OWC matches all done. What's left is just, I guess, for us to say goodbye.
Yeah, I guess it's time to announce. Thank you guys for commentating with me the team Build a Wall against the team Bull Build a Wall grand finals. Yeah, I was trying to save it until the last second, but yeah, that's gonna be it for us.
Actually,
would you guys have something to add?
Oh yeah, actually, just a point about the map pool before we wrap up. Mephisto was banned every single round. He's either picked or banned 7 times. And
Yeah, they got picked up 4 times and banned up 3 times. And I think each ban was by China. Let me check that actually.
actually, you
Nope,
think that would
one
be
was
the
up there.
AR8 hidden? Oh, I would have thought that map would have been the AR8 as is tradition, but No one wants to do that fast, so Mephisto either picked or banned.
Oh, sorry, no, it wasn't China that banned it. It was the United States.
Yeah,
Yeah,
China
it
was
is
the only
China.
team that could do it. That's the thing. Mephisto
Yeah,
was
that's
the.
probably where I got confused. China were the
Yeah.
ones that wanted to pick it, probably.
Yeah, of course, China would definitely want to pick it. I mean, that's like their comfort pick, really, even though it's not really supposed to be a comfort pick, quote unquote. Yeah, and I guess it's my turn. Yeah, so it's my privilege and pleasure to commentate with everyone here. I came in like the last one on the team, signed up, and Doomsday, OMG Force, very good players and commentators. I'm just honored to be here with them, and I learned a lot here in the back, and I think this made me appreciate owc a lot. You know, the game is just amazing, and I think if you are new, just saw this on Twitch and thinking about coming into this game, do come in. Maybe you'll be the next toy, maybe you'll be the next Rust Bell, maybe you'll be the next Eat Key. We don't know. That's why we want you to show us what's likely to happen. And yeah, it's just amazing for me. Thank you so much. I'm Evrian, and I am so glad that I am here today.
Oh, it's been
Yeah,
good
I
to
actually
commentate
kinda-
with you, dude.
Yeah, that's while we're doing thanks stuff. I want to thanks to the commentators who did help out. You guys did a really good job this year, and I'm really happy that you all decided to help out.
Yes, our pleasure. It's always fun to come on. Thanks for having us on.
Indeed, I definitely also would like to highlight some of the other commentators and streamers, especially like Locktev streaming for 10 hours non-stop, and then just everyone else is keeping there, like you Deadbeat or Seatrot Kwan, all the other guys just being there and commentating and just sacrificing so many hours. I just want to highlight that and say thanks to everyone.
Absolutely. I mean, like I say, the refs and of course the streamers are the troopers. They're the ones putting in all the hours to make this happen. So thanks to everyone that have made this thing happen. And it's always been a pleasure. So yeah, I guess we're just about done, really. I think we are done with this tournament. All we can do
Yes,
is
that- Yeah, we are done with the Oswald Cup. For those of you who
Yay!
haven't noticed, we are having the registrations for the Osmania World Cup 2017 World Cup. So if you guys are interested in that, will be starting up sometime in January, I believe. But until then, we are done. So thank you very much, everyone. Thank you, everyone who helped out. And we will see you for the next World Cup in January.
See you guys.
See you guys.
see ya. Have a good one.
the fire in my laser!